All right, I'll hand that to you.
Bam.
Let's see if this works.
Oh, there we go.
Are we getting it?
Yeah.
Did I do it right?
People, I think we got 2 people.
Cool. We'll just give it a couple minutes and let people get ready.
Yep.
And plus, I'm always behind, so this works out good. How y'all doing? So we're just setting up a couple things real quick. This is the first time doing a live broadcast from the guy that knows the least amount from YouTube out of the whole team. So pray for us.
People are saying, hey Josh.
Hey guys. Awesome. Got my razor blade, hot glue, tape. Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay? We're going to start it in just a minute.
Aha.
We're good.
Should I watch over here?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, I think so.
Oh, I have sound, but there you go.
Okay. All right, so we're getting things started here. First of all, I want to thank you guys, and also heart to heart, thank you for taking the time out of your lives to come together and to do a group build. It really means a lot to us. There's been a lot of changes over this past couple of weeks, and we're seeing the best of people, and that's just a testimony to what a great community we have. And although we're remote and having to do creative things, you guys and your support, it just truly means a lot for us. Couple things to know, we're down here in my basement. Welcome to my home, specifically the basement part, and it leaks. But you know, we want to bring you into our homes and do this group build. Also, online, we have Alex, Stefan, Maddie, Austin, the whole team will be chatting as well online. And if you guys have a comment, my wonderful wife behind us, you can kind of show. There you go.
They want to know who's behind the camera.
Yeah, she's going to be reading
No, I mean,
comments.
who's behind the
and
camera?
behind the camera is my awesome son. So, and my other awesome son will probably be down later on. He's actually been playing
1 second.
right here. I'll show you here.
Ready for this?
Yes.
Bam.
You guys know what that is. He's been playing War Thunder. And speaking of War Thunder, that is our sponsor for this. They have been so gracious, not only through you guys' support. We had to call them, and we've never had to call a sponsor before and say, by the way, we can't fulfill on the timeline we did. And they said, no problem at all. So they are officially sponsors of this live build. So War Thunder, thank you so much. And also from our previous videos that we've been doing, we found out a lot of you guys play War Thunder. So please, online, share your handles with each other so you guys can all battle together. And we'll do our best to jump on as well too. All right, couple things that we did with the build. I've already built my power pod because this is one of the most boring things out of the whole build. I wanted to be able to jump right into it. And if you guys need to kind of follow along and see I'm hopping around a little bit, feel free to pull open in the separate screen, you know, the Simple Cub build video. If any of you guys have any questions or you are building along, you know, and any specific questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer this for you. We're going to first start on the wing and get building with that. And hopefully in about 2 hours, we'll be in my backyard flying. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Are we good? Everything working?
Yeah, the
Very cool.
comments are coming in so quick I can't read them
Yeah,
right
the
now.
comments are
But
coming in quick.
as soon as I can read some,
Awesome.
they're coming in pretty quickly.
All right, so the first thing we're going to start, guys, is we're going to start on the main spar.
Some are asking for you to turn up the mic. I know you can't on the phone, so maybe
Yeah,
just...
I'm notorious for speaking very quiet, so I'll do my best to speak up, and I'm sorry about that. If we do this more and more, I'll definitely,
We've only had 2 people request,
do better.
so I think you're okay.
Okay, speak up. All right, so we're going to put our time towards the main spar real quick here. The main spar is going to be an A-fold. That means the side plates are above the bottom plate. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm actually running my razor blade down, making sure I don't go through the whole entire piece of paper, but I'm just going through enough to be able to crack it open.
Lots of people love your channel. Lots of wanting shout-outs.
We'll do our best to give some shout-outs. Give me some names.
Oops. Oh. Yes.
So how many people here are actually building along and how many people are watching? All right, yeah, go down that way.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, so we got our main spar here. If you're building along, go ahead and make sure your piece looks like this. These two channels on both sides of the spar are going to be the main cavities. So what we can do is we can actually rotate these up 90 degrees, and it's what we call an A-fold. A-fold is going to make a really strong joint. And once we go ahead and we try this, where we leave the side plate on the bottom of the table, and then we rotate up the bottom plate 90 degrees, we can then come in with our hot glue. Place a bead of glue down. We could probably get the biggest group in the country to sing "You Are My Sunshine" right now, but I'm not going to do that.
We're up to 1K.
1,000 people watching.
Yeah.
Wow, you guys are amazing. It's kind of interesting. With flight tests, we're all about engagement with people. We like planes, but we love people. And it's just a thrill right now, you know, especially in these difficult times, to be able to do the best part, which is engage with our community in a very unique way. So I'm definitely not thankful for the situation we're in, but I'm thankful for the opportunity to have creative ways to interact and engage. And I really hope that you guys do the same with your free time.
We do have a couple singing "You Are My Sunshine."
Are you
so-
serious? Oh, I'm sure Baloo's on there. Baloo and I actually harmonized "You Are My Sunshine," and it was pretty awesome. That could be a whole family thing right now, couldn't it? All right, I just did the other side of the spar. The cool thing about the Simple series, if you guys are new to building along and stuff, the Simple series, basically the vision behind it, it means it's pretty much less than about 12 pieces of foam, and it can be put together in less than 2.5 hours. So it's a really good, you know, thing to do at schools, to do with your family, and outreach too. So you had a very specific vision behind it, but also it's a great beginner plane. So hopefully at the end of this, I want to see your guys' pictures and what you've built, you know, hopefully during this time and over this time where we're all together. We're done with our spar right now. If you're following along here, what you should see with an A-fold is where the side plates are above the bottom plate. That's what A-fold means. It should look just like this. And if you have that piece completed, we can put it to the side and put our attention towards the wings.
Wyatt Witt is deployed and watching you from.
Oh, really? Where's he from?
He's deployed right now.
He's
in the military.
deployed? Brother, thank you for your service. I appreciate that. And thank you for tuning in with this. Give everyone our love and send them our love for us. And be safe, too. All right, so for the wing, and guys, if it's too much FaceTime, just tell Noah to point the camera down. We gotta get that balance. But for the wing, we're gonna go ahead and clear out the channel here, and we're gonna cut a double bevel on our leading edge that you see right here. Let's go ahead and crack that open.
RT Clark, it's his first build.
Oh, excellent. Hi, RT.
We've got people from France, from Greece, from Germany, from
Are you
Egypt,
serious? Oh my gosh. It is
Oregon.
just, it's amazing what a connected family we are, man. That's incredible. All right, let's go ahead and cut our double bevel. If we're gonna cut a double bevel, one tip here, if you're building for the first time, don't let your razor blade be 90 degrees. Take it about a 60-degree angle. And the bevel's gonna be where we just keep above this paper right here in the center. And we're gonna go ahead and pull it across. It doesn't have to look pretty because it's all gonna be covered. There's one side. And there's the other side. All right, let's go ahead and do the exact same process on the other
asking
wing.
you to slow down just a tiny bit.
I'm sorry, guys. I get all excited and I talk quick, so forgive me. I'll definitely try to slow down.
Someone wants tips on how to build an airfoil.
How to build an airfoil? Okay, I could definitely give you a tip here. A lot of people wonder why we have so many different ridges on our wings, how it's kind of folded together. That actually causes little pockets of drag as it goes back. My dad used to call them turbulators. I don't know if that's a real word, but it stuck with me. What we're using here is a flat bottom airfoil. It's called a Clark Y, and it's basically kind of a teardrop on the top and flat on the bottom, and that creates a really nice, stable, high lift airfoil. If you guys want to experiment, what I would say is try a classic plane like the Simple Cub, but then go ahead and try different wings of your own design. You know, symmetrical where both sides are the same. Teardrop, you can do KF where it's flat and just fold it over on the top, and just see the different experiences you have. And that will tell you a lot about airfoil design. As you get bigger and models get heavier and faster, obviously airfoils get a little bit more picky, but it's really a great way, especially if you're kids, to be able to experiment and to see how different airfoils behave on different planes.
Can you say hi to Carter Z?
Hi Carter Z, how are you? Where's Carter Z from, do you know?
I don't know, but he must have asked at least 30 times for you to do a shout out.
Sorry Carter, I'm a little slow, buddy. This is fun. I'm liking this.
How old are you?
How old are you? I'm 41 years old.
I just wanted to throw that in there. Why not?
Yeah, I'm 41. All right.
If you,
I'm trying to slow down on this build a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm going too fast, guys.
if you need to, you could grab the mouse.
Yeah, Alex
All
told me.
right. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and recap here. How you guys doing building along with us? You doing okay?
They're saying your skill is unreal and you are very fast.
Okay, so simmer down.
Simmer down. Slow it down just a little bit
Okay.
here.
Some of that.
Yeah, you know what we'll do? We'll just chat for a couple minutes here and let people catch up here. I'll give one last step, and then we'll go ahead and chat for like 5 minutes, and that'll give people time to catch up here. Sound good? Okay.
There's a gentleman. He just finished the FT Corsair,
Okay.
but the radial motor power pack,
Yeah.
he can't get the propeller to stay on. How should he fix this?
The propeller to stay on? Okay, one thing that's possible is maybe there's a shelf on the shaft of the motor. It's a good possibility that he needs to keep on twisting it. And oh, yeah, I'm looking at you.
You can look there.
Yeah, if you're wondering about like if the prop's not fully seated, here we go. This is a 2212, so this wouldn't be the motor, but you have a shaft right here. And we've noticed on some of our recent HQ props, as it goes down here, it gets really tight, and a lot of people just stop right there. What they most likely have to do is just keep on screwing. It's going to press fit this over the shaft and push it all the way down. Now, if it's really tight, there's something called a prop reamer you can use that'll ream it out to a perfect diameter. We just noticed our last batch of HQ props are pretty tight. It's not a big deal, but you probably just need to keep on twisting it and drive it all the way to the base. Once you're there, you should have it. It shouldn't be coming off at all for you. I hope that helps them.
Yes. They would like to know Josh Scott. Is he still involved at all? Or?
Oh my gosh, yeah, you know, Josh Scott, he stopped by not that long ago, and he is doing amazing. As a matter of fact, if you guys don't know an update about him, he's doing memoirs of World War II, and still, I think he's actually has a higher position with worship director over the whole church. So, yeah, Josh is doing amazing things, but do me a solid favor, check him out on Memoirs of World War II. He's on Instagram, he does YouTube. You know, we obviously focus on model airplanes, but he's actually capturing history and wisdom from people that aren't going to be around much longer. Just amazing human. So please, yeah, check him out. He's doing great things with his family. I believe his wonderful wife is behind the camera, and their whole family travels all over the country to meet these amazing heroes that fought for our freedom and capture their stories before they're lost. So, yeah, he's still a dear part of Flight Test. He's just not seen very often because he's just doing an amazing thing. Am I still talking too fast?
No, you're good. Some of the comments are making me laugh. They
Oh,
want to
I-
know who's the real boss at the Bixler house.
Oh my gosh. Oh
That
my
made
gosh.
me giggle. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this. I am blessed with the coolest wife in the world, and I'll just leave it at that. All right, are we ready for the next step?
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So guys, we have two halves of the wings here. We have the left half and right half, depending on how you look at it. The trailing edge here, we're gonna do something called a C-fold, and what that C-fold is where we're gonna be putting glue on the back trailing edge here, and we're gonna just fold it over completely, leaving a nice flat edge right here. This is gonna give us a lot of strength, but it's also gonna keep that paper from delaminating. So what I'd like you to do now is go ahead and practice that C-fold, and we're just gonna put a bead of glue on both sides, and we're gonna fold it over 180 degrees, and then let it dry for about 30 or 40 seconds. Again, you are my sunshine would be really good. You should ask them if they want to bring back dad jokes.
I
During
think you
this
should throw
pause.
one in.
I haven't. Okay, I'll have to find some.
This gentleman wants you to know he just finished an X-Wing.
Oh, awesome. If we get done with enough time, I want to do a little show and tell and let people know what's coming up too. And also what we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of be focusing on more repeatable projects that everyone can do at home during this time. Because, you know, a flying battleship or a 10-foot airplane is really cool. But we really want to focus on things that you guys can do now as a family. And everyone's laughing. What happened?
Lots of requests for dad jokes.
Lots. I'm secretly reading the comments.
Oh my god. All right, we'll try one. Okay, let me just get this. Jen, I may need your help in the background to feed me some. All right.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do this next C-fold here. Dad jokes for the
A
win.
couple folks would like to know if you're at the shop or in your basement.
I'm in the basement right now of our house. As a matter of fact, if you look over there, you're going to see that's where the septic line is, right there.
Yep, right there.
So that's the real McCoy there. That's where the duty happens.
Oh my gosh. Great.
Yeah, a little too much
Lots
information.
of folks from Italy watching.
Oh, awesome, guys! You're in our thoughts and prayers. You guys have been hit real hard, and it's awesome to see how you guys have turned to love on each other when you have to be so distant from each other. The part where everyone was playing musical instruments on their balconies brought a tear to my eye. So we love you guys.
Can you give a shout out to Scarlett Alexander?
Scarlett! Oh my gosh, Miss Scarlett! Congratulations on the pageant too. That's awesome. Shout out to you and your family. Hope you guys are doing well. All right. So just to recap, we have both of our C folds done. We're gonna go ahead and flip this over, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of push this together. And I like to kind of push that part against the workbench so we have a nice true straight edge. And we're gonna tape these together just like this.
Sound of tape.
The sound of tape.
Should be musical.
You've quite a few asking for updates on Dave Vindestall.
Dave Vindestall. Unfortunately, I don't have any real good updates on Dave. We did get to actually see each other not long ago. He was in the States for a short time. I think he did some content with Rotor Riot, but he did stop by Edgewater, and we got to actually fly a Simple Cub together, and he's doing really good. He's actually making these beautiful meteorite rings that are just breathtakingly gorgeous. He gets meteorites, he somehow buys them, and then he mills them to make them rings. And that's what he's been doing a lot of. And if you guys haven't checked that out, a quick search will probably show you all about that. So awesome. All right, so we have the bottom section all taped together. Let's go ahead and open it up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a bead of glue, and I'm gonna go ahead and avoid these sections, these three sections right here. Okay, so we're gonna go put a bead of glue down.
As
Hop
you're doing
over.
that, a couple folks are asking about full scale content. Is it on hold? Is it coming back?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, so full scale content did get kind of paused a little bit. Let me just get a scrap piece of foam here to smear this. Full scale content did get paused a little bit. One thing that we're trying to do is we want to obviously make sure that we're giving content that people want to see. And a lot of people really appreciated that we love every aspect of aviation. We obviously do. But when we put it all on one channel, it was really difficult to be able to keep everyone engaged and everyone happy. So what we had to do is we scaled it back. If you notice that we kind of simplified our channel to where educational, inspirational, community-based, but at the same time it's a lot about DIY model aviation and the science behind it. My hope is someday in the future is that we can turn on a general aviation channel that's just focused on general aviation. My son behind me behind the camera and the one upstairs, they fly paramotors. We still fly paramotors. I did sell my Pete and Pole, and I have a Kit Fox project that my son and I are going to be building on. So, you know, aviation, yes. Is it on hiatus on the main channel? Yes. But we will hopefully someday do that and bring it back. And I don't know which format it's going to be, but I could almost see a dedicated channel. It's just not going to happen at this moment. But if you guys did like it, let us know. And the more people that we know like it, if we have an indication that there's enough people that want it, we'll do what we can to bring it back. All right. So we gave this about 45 seconds to dry. How are people? Am I talking slower now? Am I doing better?
No one's complained in the last couple minutes, so you seem to be doing well.
Awesome.
A lot of the same questions, a lot of shout outs, so we'll do those in a little bit. Maybe.
Okay, we'll do shout outs shortly here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and place our spar while we're out of here. So this has been dried nice and flat on the table here, and you're going to see some indicator marks here and here. You're also going to notice that when we lay this down and line them up on the indicator marks, that the main holes for the servos line up with each other, and that's exactly what we want. So we got that on both sides.
Johnny Pace just made a donation. If you want to say thank you.
Johnny, thank you so much. I didn't know you could make a donation. That's crazy. Thank you, Johnny. All right, we're going to put some glue down here. And we're going to build the 4-channel version of this. If any of you guys are beginners, you can build the 3-channel version and then always put the 2 extra servos in later. This is so much fun.
A lot of folks want to thank John for all of his Master Series designs.
Oh my goodness! I hope John's on this thread. John, if you're on this thread, give a hello. We should text him to make sure that we get him on this. Yeah, John has been amazing, and it's just a testimony to our community of how many people want to give back in a powerful way. The talents you guys have and that John has are well beyond what I'll ever have. But the fact that you're willing to give that and move us forward. It's powerful. And John, the way his whole family has just jumped headfirst into supporting us, design planes like crazy. I think we're stocked for like 2-3 years, and hopefully after all this passes, we're gonna have our ducks in a row to be able to release his designs much quicker. So yeah, John's amazing. Are we doing okay?
Yeah, a couple requests for maybe a balsa build soon.
Oh, a balsa build. Okay, well this is really cool. James Wollenslee from he's a dear part of our community. He actually works oh my goodness, I'm going to butcher. I think it's in the UK. For Vintage Model Company, and they're coming out with something called Balsa Basics, and that was a collaboration of Flight Test and them, where they take actually a lot of our Flight Test designs and turn them into some basic balsa designs. So look for them. We actually have some kits going on our store of the Simple Cub, and it's a very simplistic version of our Simple Cub, solid fuselage, and then solid tail feathers, and then you can just cover the wing if you want. But it flies just like the Simple Cub, and it's a really good first starter kit. And just like with most of our foam board kits, you're going to see a dramatic evolution from that Simple Cub moving forward, and they're just a great company to work with. So yeah, definitely look for Balsa Basics. That's a collaboration between Flight Test and Vintage Model Company. Okay. Man, guys, forgive me if there's anything I'm not making sense on. You just let me know. I want to make sure this is serving your needs and also we're engaging. So right now we have our main spar down, we have our double bevel, we have our back fold. We're going to go ahead and do a practice fold. And what I want to do here is I want to use the open parts of my hands, and I want to slowly kind of roll this over here. And just to kind of get the center area used to being crushed down, just like that. Once we've gotten this down to about a 45-degree angle, let's go ahead and we'll just take the tip, the very tip of our screwdriver, and we're going to lightly score it. We're not pushing all the way down through. We're just kind of giving a nice little indent on both sides. Yella?
The large cargo planes, will any of those be released, or plans, or what's up? How can we get those?
Actually, ask them a favor. What do you guys like better? Do you like cabby, or do you like the flying boxcar better? I'll tell you right now, cabby is way too big for two monster motors. He just sucks a ton of energy, where the Skyvan was actually far more capable of versatility. But let me know, do you guys like one or the other? Because we can definitely look at revisiting that and making that a reality. All right, so you noticed here, once I drag this through on both sides and I roll it over, you're going to notice that it actually makes that nice airfoil that we were talking about. And what we want to look for is that the top section right here is parallel to the bottom surface of the wing. And then this back area, can you kind of see that okay?
Kind of.
Perfect.
Boxcar seems to be a popular.
The flying boxcar, I love that one too. We got to build another one. So, believe it or not, even though Cabby doesn't have a face right now, he's actually still in one piece. So that's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to hopefully, when everything opens up, entertain a lot of kids. I wasn't too happy with the bend here, so I'm just going to go and score this a little bit deeper. And we're going to try one more bend. And that feels really good. All right. How about if we answer a couple questions and give people a chance to catch up?
Sure. A couple folks are wondering if this is the new maker foam.
This is the new maker foam. Yeah, this is actually, if you notice, it has a little bit of a sheen on it. Can you kind of see that sheen? So the really cool thing about this is it's translucent and it's pretty much waterproof. It's about as waterproof as our brown was. If you obviously leave it in the water for 24 hours, you are going to get some peeling and stuff, but just for general use, it's actually superior in the density of the foam and also the water resistance to our old stuff, but also paints just as well too. So all of our new planes, as we come out with them, they're going to be a maker foam. And then what we're also doing is we're working backwards. So now if you go to your hobby shop or you go to our online store and you buy a speedboat kit, look to see what the color of the foam is, because a lot of times now what you're going to see is they're in our new maker foam. That's a great question.
Any more EDF creations from you guys?
Yeah, actually, and we're going to be calling them BDF creations. With the BDFs, that's Ben's ducted fan. Ben Harbour actually was the one that created that, and he demonstrated that on his B-52 at last year's Flight Fest. We actually took that design and we worked with him, and we're making a mold, and there's going to be beautiful, I think they call them dimensionally stable, like glass injected plastic. And we're going to make a really nice mold of that, where you can then use, I believe it's going to be between a 2208 to a 2210 motor. And fly it between a 4 and a 6 cell, depending on what configuration you have. Once we have that, and it's actually being molded in China right now, we're going to bring them in, and then John Overstreet's been working with Ben and designing specifically off of Ben's ducted fans, and we're going to have the F-18. We're trying to get the F-18 out before Top Gun, or right at the time Top Gun's released, so people can build the F-18. We'll also have the F-16 Viper. We got a ton of jets that are kind of just waiting behind the scenes, and we were teasing them a lot, and if you look at John Overstreet's page, you'll see them hanging in the background. These things fly amazing. You can take an F-18 that's as tall as me and fly it in the space of a park flyer, but also do those crazy maneuvers where, you know, you see the F-18s kind of going in a high cobra or a high alpha maneuver. You can do that with this one. You're not going to go 120 miles an hour, but you're going to go a beautiful scale speed and have punch like you don't have on a typical EDF. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit of gluing here. what we're going to do first is we're going to put 2 thin beads of glue on these 2 rows, and then we're going to fold this over and let it dry. Now you're going to see me bouncing the top of the wing a little bit because I don't want it to glue to this area quite yet. What I want it to do is just hold that form. So we're going to go 1, center section, and then 2 nice thin beads. And then we're going to fold this over. And what I'm really concentrating, you see I'm kind of bouncing this up and down. I just don't want it to stick. I really want this top piece to be horizontal or parallel to the bottom surface of the wing. I'm just going to lift it up.
A couple folks want to know what would be a good second plane. They've done the trainer. They feel like they mastered that. They're ready to run the second
Awesome. Okay. So good second plane. My 2 favorite planes are I love the Cub and I love the Simple Scout. If you're looking for a really fun all-around plane that can do aerobatics, it can fly 3D, it just looks really cool in the air, and you notice that my passion's kind of towards cartoony air racing looking airplanes, check out the full-size FT Sportster. The FT Sportster can do 3D as well as it can do precision, as well as it just looks amazing in the air, and it's very easy to fly. So I would say if you're looking for one and you're not ready to go to scale or you don't want to really care about scale at this moment, the Sportster is one of the ones I always turn to. If you're looking for twin engine, the Sea Duck is fantastic. I really like the Sea Duck a lot. As far as scale models go, if you have no problem or intimidation with flying scale models, the Master Series, don't hesitate to jump right into it. I would say the P47 is a great first Master Series to go into. A lot of people have really great luck with the Corsair too. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter of an angle, but it works really well. So I would say one of those 2 in the Master Series if you're looking for a good starter plane in that series. Okay.
You've had a couple more donations come in.
Oh my golly, guys! I didn't even know that was a feature on this. Thank you, guys.
We're up to $25.
Gee whiz, that's powerful. The fact that you even want to pay it forward, especially in a time like this, just means a lot. And our hearts is to honestly give you guys something to be able to connect on and something for you to do as a family. So by you guys being part of this, you're thanking us enough. All right, ready for putting the top of the wing down? We're going to go ahead and put a bead of glue on the leading edge right here. We're going to put a stripe of glue on both sides of the spar, and then 1 stripe of glue on the trailing edge. So make sure you have plenty of hot glue as we speak.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Sprinkles asked, when will the Micro Twin Simple Pack be coming out?
The Micro Twin. So we have a Twin 8-pack. Maybe he's talking about, I think he's talking about the Easy Pack. So you guys want to see something really cool? This is our Easy Pack. So this is a control board, a battery, and 2 motors. And if you actually look here, and I'm not trying to plug too much here, this is actually going to be our first starter pack right here. So we have our Easy Pack, and basically it's going to be like the original 3-pack Micro Twin. And this is something that will work as a chuck glider so you can build, but also it has a 6-axis gyro. So no linkages, no servos. You just take it outside and you fly it and have a great experience. This will be our DIY kit. And then for our starter kit, we have our C-17 right here. So this is our Flite Test C-17. A lot of you guys have probably seen this on the net. We were looking to do something called the Easy Pack for a long time, and we started buying different toys saying, how are they doing it and how can we do it better? We fell in love with this thing so much. We're like, we got to bring this in, and no one was really bringing it at an economical value in the States. So we went ahead and had it branded, brought it in, but more so, it's actually an FT STEM product. We're actually writing a full-blown curriculum. Jake and Trevor are doing a great job. So people don't just buy something and build it and fly it. There actually is going to be a module curriculum teaching them all about all the features of airplanes, but then also they can take the guts out of this and they can build DIY airplanes. If you guys don't want to destroy this, we're also going to have an electronics kit only. And we've actually shipped these already to the Flite Test store, and hopefully we'll get these in lots of local hobby shops as well. This is a plane that is just crazy durable. You can put this in the hands of a 5 to 7-year-old for the first time with no instruction, and they're going to fly it. It's incredible. It's one of our favorite little go-to planes. I'll talk more about that later. I don't want to be too pitchy here. Ready to put the top wing down? Am I talking too fast still?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at other. I'm reading a lot. Let me tell you, there's a lot coming in. Yes.
Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and put our glue down here. This is awesome. I never thought this would be so. I feel like we have like a family room filled with 1,000 people.
I don't want to bombard you, so when you're ready for the next question, you let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
The Aurora Light. When can they get it in Europe?
Actually, Austin should be on the chat here. We just sent a container right before the shelter at home order. We just got a container out the door, and we have a new distributor, and they are going to be distributing it. And in that pack is a whole bunch of auras. So I'm guessing it's going to be about maybe 3 weeks. I think it'll take to get overseas. So look, 3 to 4 weeks it'll be there. You can also go to our main site now and be able to just order it. It's such a small package, you should be able to get it internationally very economically. We're actually going to put an aura in this one, so I can kind of give you guys a high-level demonstration of how it works. Notice I'm not rushing with this. Okay, ready? We're going to hold this down in place. And one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to push with your fingers. You want to push with the flats of your hands, or you just want to use your whole arm and kind of lean down on this and hold it flat. A really important thing is make sure that the trailing edge of your wing is down against the table. That'll be a good indicator that everything is just right.
Any chance of getting more civil aircraft? The military stuff, he loves it as much as the next guy, but a beach bonanza or a Piper Cherokee would be awesome.
I love it. What do you guys think of a widgeon?
That was Keegan, by the way.
That was Keegan? Hey, Keegan! So we got some P&P airplanes coming out that are actually straight from civil. We're not going into the military with those ones. And we actually have the widgeon, which is going to be probably in the next couple weeks hitting our store and also hopefully local hobby shops towards you. I want to show you guys more about that later. As far as civil airplanes on DIY, absolutely, those will be coming. I think on
B-17.
B-17.
Lots of B-17 requests.
John has already designed the B-17. We can have him revisit it, but right now it's over 8-foot wingspan. It wouldn't be very economical to move it around. Maybe we look at sizing it down a little bit so it can fit in people's cars. They don't need a full-blown truck. All right.
How about a commercial airliner?
Oh, you'll be very happy. How many people like Airbus A320s? That was a hit. Do you like that? That was a subtle hint. All right. So our wing's now done. A really good indicator that everything is good is you want to look at this back trailing edge and you want to make sure that it's tight up against the foam. And it is. How are you guys doing building along? Do I need to slow down? Do I need to give you a catch-up moment?
I'm a little behind in comments. I'm trying to slow them down a little
no
bit,
problem.
so we're getting there.
No problem. Was that one gentleman, was that what he's talking about, the micro twin pack?
I'm not sure. They're going by very quick.
Let me know if I didn't answer your question. If you're talking about something else, let me know and I'll try to figure out what you're talking about.
Let's see.
Oh, no, that one's good. Cool.
Is there a kit box coming out?
There is a kit box coming out. We actually partnered with Trent Palmer. It's going to be a P&P airplane, so it's not going to be DIY. It's going to be a beautifully molded aircraft at scale, right down to the ribs and everything on the wing. Also with the kit box, we have some really cool innovative features that I don't think have been done on any molded airplanes before. The biggest thing about the kit box we wanted to get right is we wanted a landing gear and wheels that behave just like Trent's, because when you're landing a stall airplane and you're dropping it in, we want to see the landing gears kind of moving and out. We had months of time working on that, and we finally got it nailed. So yeah, the kit box is coming. It'll be after the widgeon. And we kind of jumped into the world with the micros because those were like the most approachable. But where you're going to see flight tests go, and especially with what we learned from the micros, is probably going to be in planes this size right here. Not saying we won't do micros again, but we definitely got a lot of really great insight, and we put that into these airplanes.
That's what he was talking about, and you answered it great.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. All right, guys.
Andrew Fly Guy loves you and I.
Oh, I love you too. It's kind of weird. If anyone knows me, I'm a hugger. And with the whole social distancing thing, I can't hug people like I used to.
It's been driving him crazy.
It's been driving me crazy. And so I guess it's the closest thing to it. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm not cutting through the whole entire wing. I'm cutting down through the spar on both these sides here. Now, if you're looking to make an aerobatic Cub, you can leave this without dihedral, but even with the slight amount of dihedral, I still prefer it a lot. So what I'm going to do here is you notice that I'm kind of lifting up on both sides, and you should be able to lift up on both sides of the wing just like you see here. And I'm just on the other side, and all we're doing is we're just crushing on that spar. In our kits or on our plans, you have two little brackets that look like this, and those are going to go on the wingtips.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
The spacer for the prop with the FT Corsair slides down the shaft on the motor, and the nut doesn't go all the way down to the shaft. So can he use any nut that will fit instead?
Oh, the tiny little spacer for the prop itself? Is that what he's talking about?
I've literally read what I know. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'm gonna take a guess that you're talking about. There's a precision spacer. This is the prop that we're gonna be using. There's these precision spacers right here. And again, with that shaft and these guys maybe being molded just a little tight on this batch, that may not go down all the way. Just go ahead and don't use a spacer and then have it drive down without the spacer, and it should go down the rest of the
I
way.
think we're getting more information on that one, but while we're waiting, can
Yeah.
you say hi to Grayson?
Hi, Grayson.
Grayson's watching.
Is Grayson watching? Oh, Stefan's Grayson.
Yes,
Hey, buddy.
yes.
Love you. Oh, I love that little man. I miss him. Oh, my goodness. So we have an awesome flight test family in the team, but they have awesome wives and awesome kids, and we get together even when work's not around, and it really is like a big family. And Grayson is Stefan's kid, and he is such an awesome little man. So and I bet you Violet's probably watching too. Yeah, we're just definitely blessed with an
Probably.
awesome group of people.
Possibly
So,
Charlie and Alta.
Charlie and Alta, hi guys.
Well, I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah, I bet you
They're
are.
more of
They're
the
cool.
kids.
All right, so we got our little dihedral gauges on both sides here, and this is going to take a lot of patience, so don't hurry this part. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a tape gun dispenser here ready to put on top of this to kind of weigh it down, because I tend to kind of go back to it and go prematurely. So if you guys want to take a moment to get something heavy, it could be a transmitter, it could be anything. Get the heaviest, most narrow thing, because what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to weight down the section, and we're going to want to let that sit for a good 5-6 minutes. And what we'll do is we'll glue this, and then we'll put it aside and let it dry.
They want to know when I'm going to be on flight test. Never, if I can help it.
My wife is really humble, and I don't want to say shy, but she's just humble, and she's okay being
I
behind the scenes.
prefer
But
behind the camera.
if you met her in person, you would know what a rock star she is to me. And the fact that she's down helping me read comments.
Recommended glue gun?
means a lot. Recommended glue gun. If you guys give us probably about 2 to 3 weeks, we actually have our own glue gun that we're coming out with. It's going to be in its own case. The cool thing that we like about it is it can actually have a temperature dial from 80 watts all the way up to over 300 watts. So that's really good if you're putting together wood. You need to really crank it up. It has all the benefits of the AdTech Pro 200, but there's a little dial down here, and it's also in a case. We also have a smaller glue gun. I call it the phaser, but it's I think 100 watt or 80 watt glue gun that we put a lot of testing through. That's really good for the minis. So we have 2 glue guns coming out. If you notice that the crafty kits and stuff, we're kind of not pushing those as hard right now. It's because there's going to be a new crafty kit coming out in the near future, but specifically there's going to be a new glue gun coming out. So
Grayson wants me on flight test too.
What's that?
Grayson.
I want Grayson on flight test. He'd be a lot cooler. Okay, let's go ahead and put some hot glue in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and push the nozzle of the thing. I'm just going to inject glue. Don't worry too much about the mess it makes, because we're going to smear that, and we're just going to kind of press it all the way through.
Blue's also handling answers.
Blue, thank you so much. Just ran out of hot glue. Are people okay with the style build? Is there
I
anything
think
can be
so
done better?
far.
Oh,
More
good.
questions, no really complaints. So
Good. Good. Well, I like to answer your questions. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take the scrap piece of foam, and we're going to smear it over. And I'm just going to hold this probably for the first couple minutes. What do you say we have a dad joke?
yes.
All right. What do you call a fish with no eyes?
What? I said what?
A fist. Get it? Fist.
What
Fish.
side of the mug does the handle go on? The outside.
I like that. I like that.
Sorry, it's all I got.
All right.
What do you call a fake noodle?
What?
An impasta.
And then pasta. I like that. Why did the superhero flush the toilet? Because it was his duty. All right, that was a little too dad joke. All right, we're gonna give this a couple more minutes here. I'm looking around because I'm thinking this is gonna be a little wide. This is gonna be clunky. I'm locked down at the moment.
Since you have mentioned the other guys, they're asking about Peter.
Oh, Peter's awesome. Peter has his own YouTube channel, and he's doing some good stuff. I think there's going to be some collaborations with Peter in the near future. But if you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, please do so. He's just doing incredible stuff, and definitely showing all his amazing talents, but also his ornery side too. So check out Peter's channel.
We do have a couple please slow downs, so maybe we'll
Okay.
answer a question or two
I
while
like
you're
that.
hanging. Let's see.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have questions, if I passed you up and you didn't get to see something, ask that question and I can at least describe it for you. I'm a little bit new to this one. So we're gonna give this another minute or so, let it dry. I can actually answer questions for another 2 minutes. I'll just keep holding this down here.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading.
Oh, you're fine.
Jonah B from A-Main's on.
Jonah! Jonah is our head customer support rep for our store. So if you guys have a question, the first person you'll probably be talking to is Jonah. And I believe he's on the phone and also on the net.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting...
Okay, I think I'm going to be impatient, but here, go ahead and show this note.
Is it possible to get the Edge by 40 in 182%?
Oh, a monster series. That'd be really cool. Let me show you this here. So if everything dried right, when you lift this up, what you shouldn't see is this pop back and spring forward. And you can see that's holding its shape beautifully. If I pull these out, that wing looks really good. Now we don't want to just go ahead and leave this here. What we want to do is we want to take some tape and reinforce it. So we'll take some 2-inch tape and do that now. Tape noise. I'm kind of curious, how many people are building along and how many people are watching? Doesn't matter either way. I really appreciate you guys are doing this.
Sorry, was responding to something here. Let's see.
There we go.
A lot of people watching.
That's awesome. Guys, thanks for giving us part of your life here.
A European distributor yet?
We do, and I'm trying to remember the name. It begins with an L, not Lingenfelder. That's the Sebastian company. My brain's a little fried here.
No, that's a dress shop in Alliance.
Oh, is it? Definitely not them.
I don't think they're doing it, but that's a good try.
I like that. All right. Oh man, that's good.
Oh, here we go. I'll let you read that. Blue's last comment has the name of it.
Okay, I was close. It's Lindinger. Lindinger. So unfortunately, Graupner went bankrupt. And for everyone at Graupner, I'm sorry about that. You guys have been awesome partners. Lindinger stepped up in a big way. And that actual first container is going to them as we speak. So in probably about 2-3 weeks, well no, 3 to 4 weeks realistically, they'll be receiving that container and they'll be helping us with distribution and hobby shops and everything. If you guys don't know, one of our biggest visions with Flite Test wasn't just to have only B2C or a site. We want to really help hobby shops grow, and we want to see these products and these solutions in hobby shops because, you know, Amazon and online ordering can definitely be a point of sale, but hobby shops provide an experience, support, and places for people to connect. So we're really hoping that whether we have build tables and hobby shops in the near future, where people can get together and they can build, they can have workshops, it becomes a gathering place and hub of activity. And then along with that, we want to distribute worldwide. It's come along really good. It's just really exciting to see it take place. And all our partners out there, thank you so much for buying into that vision.
What about the widgeon?
The widgeon? All right, we can let that dry for a second.
We have a couple people asking about the widgeon.
So we're really, really proud of this. If anyone remembers a while ago, if they remember the, I'll put this aside for a second. If they remember the Twin Star, the Twin Star was like one of these beautiful functional airplanes that could do everything from FPV to multi-surface because it had a smooth bottom. We wanted to bring one of our first planes in on our molded line to have it have all those features and versatility, but at the same time we wanted to also be scale and beautiful too. So we picked the widgeon. The cool thing about that is the open space in this widgeon is actually bigger than the Twin Star, no modification needed. You can simply put the FPV gear right on the top hatch or 3D print your own and it'll be able to hold FPV gear. And along with that, everything is battery or magnetic, so it just snaps in place and everything is serviceable. One thing we noticed about a lot of molded airplanes is it was really hard to access, modify, tune, or tweak. We wanted people from our community especially to be able to modify and create and change things around. Even if, say, they want to upgrade from these motors to our radial series, we want them to be able to just pull this off and go there. And no tape, no glue or anything. It just all pops together. Along with that, for putting it together, we have pins. So you can simply pull the pins. And you're going to see my mess in here because I've been flying this with the Aura. The 2 pins and the whole wing opens up. And you guys can see how much open space is inside here. So we really wanted a real versatile plane that can take off of water, snow, or landing gear. Maybe later we can take this up for a flight if you guys want to see it.
We have a lot of people asking about Flight Fest, but I think the best answer right now is we really aren't sure what's going to happen, so that's why we're not touching that subject yet.
We're not ignoring you on that. Let me put this back real quick. Here's the reality. We don't know if this is going to be a 2-week thing, a 3-week thing, or if this is as bad or as good as what people are saying it's going to be. So please forgive us for not giving you a direct answer. We want to make the right decision, and I'm confident we'll know very soon which way that's going to go. So, okay, well, you guys want to move on to the fuselage, or should we put some ailerons in this? What do you guys think? What are they saying?
What do you call a dinosaur fart?
What?
A blast from the past. I don't know who that was, but I could not read
Whoever
that.
that was, you're my hero. Oh, do they want to see ailerons put in this?
I'm sorry,
that was fantastic. A blast from the past. We got a lot of cool dads and moms out there. Yes, on the ailerons?
Sure, go for it. I'm
Okay.
not really getting any.
All right.
There we go.
There's
we
a-
have some of both, so it's really hard.
It's
to
about
figure out.
50-50.
Yeah.
50-50. All right, we can go through the ailerons really quick. And the nice thing is we can put this down, and then the fuselage, once that's done, everything comes together and we go fly. So for your ailerons, we're going to go ahead and cut our ailerons out, and we're going to put a score cut on the bottom here. So we're going to, actually, let's do it a little bit different way. Yeah, we'll do it that way. Okay, so let's go ahead.
RC with Adam, yes, it is going very fast. The comments are flying.
Once we score cut this, we can carefully kind of open this up 180 degrees. And we're going to cut our 45-degree bevel. Again, if you go through the paper in the middle, don't worry, we can replace that with a piece of tape. And what we want to make sure we see is we want to make sure that there's no kind of impact there. I'm just going to open this part up just a little bit more. We want to see where it pushes down with no problem. If this is a little bit thick here, you're going to notice it's going to resist it. It's not going to want to go down. If you have to, just keep on cutting out of that area until it's right up against the paper. Another thing you can do, what I'm doing, is you can kind of crush that down right against the paper and it'll make it go easier. Also, go ahead and kind of push this back a little bit, and so it moves nice and easy.
The P40 planes will be up, right, eventually?
The swappable P40?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're not up already, I thought they were. Dan Sponholz is probably on our chat. He's actually the one that takes and finishes our plans, and I'm guilty of continually getting that to him late. Usually we get the kits out, and about a month afterwards, the P40 plans or that plane's plans will come out for free. So I'm pretty sure the P40s are out.
There's a follow-up real quick with the Corsair prop question.
Yeah.
The prop does go down the shaft, but the nut stops at the top and doesn't go all the way down to hold the prop in place.
Oh, okay.
Can they just use any nut that fits?
Yeah, absolutely can. Actually, have them contact us to support a flight test. And also, I'm curious, is that the prop? I'm talking to you.
I'll go behind the camera there.
Contact us at support@flighttest.com and send us some pictures of what you're talking about. And also, let us know, is this a prop that it was included with the power pack, or is this a prop that specifically you're using? Some of them are thinner. And I get what you're saying. That shaft may be longer than what that prop allows, or that hub is, and that could cause it to do that. So I'm sorry I didn't understand your question earlier. But yeah, you could use washers if that's the case. But what I really want to know is that a prop that was included in our power packs. I hope not.
So I have a question. You don't have to turn it to me.
Yeah.
If everyone wouldn't mind just kind of quit asking for shout outs just for a few minutes so we can read the questions, because it's hard to read those in between there, and we'll try to do some shout outs maybe later in the video, but for right now, if we could just kind of taper down a little bit on requesting shout outs
to every one of you guys.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that is a difficult thing.
I can't read the comments through them all.
Oh, you can't get. Yeah. All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting a really thin bead of glue right over the foam. And I'm scraping it off. What this is going to do is it's going to push the hot glue into the foam and the paper, and it's going to make this hinge really strong. What's going on?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
I hear my wife laughing behind me.
People
I
are
know.
commenting to each other too, and just sometimes it gets me a little.
It gets
it's
really
good.
funny.
It's good. It's good.
After this is dry, you'll see that the one side's done. We'll go ahead and do the other side now.
Do you still have the battleship plans?
The battleship plans. Oh, the flying battleship plans?
I would believe that's what they're asking for. It didn't say.
Yes. And did I finish them? No.
Okay. Let's see. Are you guys thinking of doing any 3D swappable planes in the future?
I don't think the Edge 540 is swappable. If I'm not mistaken.
I think 3D printed. What they're asking.
Oh, 3D printed.
I think is what they're asking.
Oh, yeah, I can honestly see 3D printed coming in the future. I don't know when, but it's definitely becoming a thing. One thing that's really fascinating with 3D printed filaments, they have a new foaming filament, which is really cool. Like foams up, it's really strong, and you can sand it if I'm not mistaken. So that seems like a perfect solution for. It seems like a perfect solution for 3D printed airplanes.
What about the plans for the RC Cybertruck?
Oh my gosh!
The world's ugliest
So,
truck.
the world's. My wife still asks me about this.
It's a beautiful truck.
But yeah, if you guys don't know, I have one on pre-order, and it'll probably be like the most luxurious thing I ever buy. But it's divided our family. It's kind of funny how my son behind the camera here, and I absolutely love it, and my wife and my youngest son, they just kind
We're
of
not the biggest fans.
They're not the biggest fans, yeah. So, but when we have actually a flying Cybertruck that is pretty much ready to go, it'll be a future episode. When we finish all that up, we'll get the plans out to you. All right.
I still think it's a beautiful truck.
It is. It's versatile.
Yeah.
All right, this sounds gross, but what I'm doing is I'm just basically licking my finger and I rub it back and forth, and then it makes the glue dry.
Germs!
Yeah, germs. It's the worst thing I could be doing right now, right?
My airplane suddenly rolls left sometimes. I didn't change aileron servo pins. Where could the problem be? It's been flying good before.
So suddenly, does he have any binding issues? Is it just out of the blue? I'll tell you what. If it's out of the blue, check where your antenna is and see if it's going into fail-safe mode or anything like that. If it's glitching, if you're flying and say sometimes it's real sensitive, other times and not, what you may have is a binding issue, and then the push rod will flex and then it'll pop loose, and then it'll give you a sudden reaction. That happens a lot of time on pitch control where it's push to positive, and you're going really fast, and then the rod inside is bending, and all of a sudden you slow down, and it gets that full deflection, so it's like kind of gradually, and then it kicks up. So check your linkages first, make sure nothing's binding up. Also check your antennas.
Any new drones or drone information coming, or?
Maddie just came out with the Blur, which is a really great racing quad design, and then Maddie would have to answer that, but we do have a couple of drone products coming, or multi-rotor products, that are pretty darn cool. So I'm really excited. We have something called the Versacopter Slim, and it is a carbon fiber Versacopter that is just kind of a rework. And actually, Indris Lou designed it, and I've been flying it. I absolutely love it. It works really good. That'll come out, but it'll also be a STEM kit to go into schools. All right, so we have our aileron cut. Let me grab some servos here. I already pre-centered our servos just to kind of be respectful on time here. You guys can do this too. If you're using our flight test servos, most of the time they come out pre-centered. A couple real easy ways to center it is by using a servo centering tool, or you can actually also use our little toolbox here. This is our little charger, but it also has a really cool feature where it'll center servos and do some other things. So if you guys don't have a really cool compact charger, this has not only a charger, but it's also really cool. And it also has a USB, I believe, too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Good stuff.
Patrick thinks you should be a surgeon because of your knife skills and steady hands.
Wow. I just haven't had much coffee today. All right, let's go and put some servos in, friends.
Decaf. Decaf.
This is so much fun. All right, we're going to just do a quick test fit. Press these down into place. And let's see, I got my little push rod somewhere. There's our rod. And my control horns. Over here.
Something for you to think about when you get back over?
Yeah.
They want to know how would they enlarge or decrease the size of the plans?
the Monster series?
Just the planes in general. If they want to make a monster, make a smaller, how would they
Okay.
themselves decrease or increase the planes?
I believe there's an article that's already been written. So check out flighttest.com and look at the article enlarging or changing the scale of plans, and you should see the article beginning to end. I think it's also included with the plans, how to print your plans. So check out that article and search it, and I think there's a complete article showing you how to do so. One thing I think you could also do is take the file to like a Staples and tell them I want this 185% bigger, and they'll do that automatically for you, and then print it out.
We have more donations coming in too.
Oh my gosh, give me some names to give them thank yous. That's incredible.
Let's see, the one I just saw was Bill Conrad.
Bill, thank you, buddy. That was incredibly kind of you guys. All right. Jerry, thank you.
Any chance I could get you to design a mini Aero wing optimized for 4-cell 1300 battery?
A mini Arrow? The Arrow only goes up to 800 milliamps. So maybe you're talking about maybe a Spear or a Versawing. If you're looking for a mini wing, we have the pizza box flyer, and it sounds kind of goofy, but you could take the pizza box flyer and make that out of foam board. It is insanely fast and compact. So maybe consider doing, if you're looking for a mini Arrow, look up the free plans for the pizza box flyer and build that out of foam. And it's so cool because I don't think you even really need winglets for it, if I'm not mistaken. So
Tell Shane and Heather, I wish we could come for chicken and waffles.
I love Shane and Heather. Yeah, chicken and waffles have changed my life. The first time we had chicken and waffles was with Shane and Heather McDowell in Texas, and it changed our lives big time. So, okay, let's go ahead and bend our push rods first. All right, so what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to dry fit our control horn, and if you're putting your control horn in, you want the holes of the control horn to go directly over your hinge line, just like this. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to slide in. I'm going to try not to poke you, buddy.
Any chance on getting you guys to revisit the bomb drop challenge and revamp some old episodes?
Not a bad idea. No, I'd love to revisit, especially now with Edgewater. We have a lot better spots. If you guys know my record lately with bomb drops, period, I'm terrible. And a matter of fact, War Thunder sponsoring the Apache going against the tank, and I'm really dreading it because I haven't been hitting the broadside of the building. If you want me to dive bomb and get close to something with an airplane, I'm good. When it comes to releasing a projectile, even if it's cheese puffs, to hit something, I'm slacking. So I bet you we can redo that.
This gentleman would like to know if they can get more plans kind of like the FT-22. He loves that plane.
Oh, the flat ones? Some simple stuff. We have our monster maker foam, our thick maker foam, and one thing you are going to see is a lot of designs coming out that are flat out. So I think we're going to call them flat out fun designs, and they'll be real simple, approachable designs. That'll be flat airfoils, but they'll also be made out of the thicker stuff, so they're more durable.
Trevor brought up a good point. They could support their local pizza shops in this time and get a pizza box and make the flying.
Brilliant. That is brilliant.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Two birds with one stone. Hi, Trevor. All right, so notice, guys, I'm marking with my thumbnail here the very closest side of the hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm holding this with my fingers here, keeping it nice and neutral. I'm holding this with my thumb. I'm going to just take my pliers. I'm going to bend this down 90 degrees. And with that 90 degree, if you can kind of see that, I'm going to reach in about 2 millimeters or so. And I'm going to bend this outward. And that's going to be a modified Z-bend. Now I can go ahead and cut this. Now, whether you get in the kits or you have our push rods and stuff, you're going to notice that there's always plenty of material. If this is wrong and you need to remake it, don't sweat about that. Just go ahead and make another one. All right, we're going to go ahead and push this in.
Do you know when the Freedom Fox is coming out?
The Freedom Fox, I believe, is getting manufactured right now. It'll be, I want to say it's going to be early summer. Okay. Let's just do one last fit here, make sure we're good. That looks really good. All we have left to do, guys.
They're impressed with your bevel cuts.
It's all studio magic. It's all fake. I'm honestly really self-conscious because if, oh my goodness, Noah, Alex, Jeremy, they've all had to BB, and Maddie for that matter, they've all had to deal with me and build videos. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's 1,000 takes. I'm terrible with build videos. They just make it look really good. So I hope this is clear enough for you.
So I'm just going to show you something here. You can keep going.
Okay,
Don't ignore me.
All right. So I'm just kind of holding this down. One thing to keep in mind is if you let this be weak and this comes unglued, you're going to lose that control.
I believe it's Margot.
Oh my gosh, it's Margot! I love Margot. Is she in zebra pajamas? Oh no, that's a horse. I saw it looked like a kid. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I just made my wife lose it. And someone's at the door. All right. No, this is the bad thing about not being able to have any picks. All right, so one last thing we have. Our control horn is down. It looked like I'm looking at a little tiny picture on the photo. It looked like zebra pajamas.
She was the one standing up.
I saw that, but I thought like Charlie or somebody
Sorry,
else was
Alex.
there. I'm sorry, guys. They're never gonna like me now. Okay. Our control horn's in. The last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of drip some glue in on both sides here. And if you guys need to do any minor adjustments, you have a little bit of adjustment right here. We're just gonna go ahead and lock this down. There's one. And there's two. We're gonna let that dry. I feel so bad now.
No, that's good. I won't show
And
you any more pictures.
No, that was awesome. I just made a fool of myself.
No, you're good.
Oh. All right, so one down, and I'm just gonna fire through this side a little bit quicker, and then we can work onto the fuselage. One thing, just while I'm getting this ready, that I've been really encouraged with and just loving is the amount of families that are reconnecting and loving on their children, repairing marriages, connecting with each other. And it means a lot to me to see that because that's where our heart is it's to connect families through common activities, not so much about what that activity is. And obviously we love the flight aspect, but really this is what my dad connected with me on, and I want to see families be able to do the same. So you guys are really taking an unfortunate situation and turn it into a positive that I promise you is going to really bless your kids in the future. Just snag it there.
What do you think a good weight limit for a 3D printed Boeing 747 with two standard brushless motors and a 3-foot wingspan?
3-foot wingspan. So that's 36 inches. If you're doing that, you'd probably want an APAC motor. And the weight limit wouldn't be all that much. It would be pretty light. I would guess you could probably carry the equivalent of maybe a water bottle at the very, very most. Keep in mind, whenever you, if you double the wingspan roughly, you're going to quadruple the lift. And that's why, a jet's not 2-mile wingspan. And of course, a lot of engineers probably cringing when I say that, but it's really good math. A 36-inch airplane with very thin wings is going to be flying very fast to carry a lot of weight. But if you make that a 5-foot wingspan, you'll see a dramatic increase. Okay, where's my little control horn? Noah, how you doing, buddy?
Me?
Yeah.
The phone,
Is the phone doing okay?
after an hour, the phone gets heavy.
How's the connection? Are people able to see everything okay?
Also, how's the audio? Tell me if I need to get closer or not.
Do you know about how much the Freedom Fox will be when it comes out?
No, but when we get the pre-order, we'll know exactly about that. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but one really cool thing is, again, Trent's buy-in. There's a bigger vision with the Freedom Fox that we're looking forward to sharing with you. So look for the pre-order page, and we'll hide that exact penny. And a lot of it comes down to what it costs to get it to us. And then once we know that for a fact, we work forward from there. But we want to make it economical. We want to make it so everybody can add it to their hangar. And also support Trent. Trent is, again, for someone to say, we do foam board airplanes, and we started on this over a year ago and said, Trent, we want to do a kit fox. For him to believe that we could actually do that, that's a special individual there, and we want to make sure he gets rewarded for that.
Are there wing flaps on the Simple Cub?
Wing flaps? You can do something called flaperons. Flaperons are flaps and ailerons put together. And I'm not going to do it on this one, but you can program that in your radio. But also with the FT Aura 5, there's a wing configuration that you can actually set up right out of the wizard. And all you have to do is just make sure your aux 1 is on the proper switch, and it'll work instantly. It's all pre-dialed for you. We're going to actually have profiles for the Simple Cub and many other airplanes that you guys will be able to download and be able to instantly just upload it. You make your connections, and everything's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which kit has the best slow flight characteristics?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I would say, well, if you do an FT flyer, you can fly it in high alpha, no problem. Also the nut ball, and you can just walk it around a real small area. If you're looking for a plane that just flies plain slow, in normal attitude, probably the Old Fogey I think is the slowest one that we have. We flew the Old Fogey at some indoor events and had a blast with it. I'm gonna do something really quick. I actually bumped this. I'm gonna go ahead and just recenter my servos to make sure that I didn't screw it up too bad.
What transmitter do you prefer?
Oh man, simple. I'm a simple person. I'm actually going to probably be flying this off of my DXE, but the one that has a lot of bang for the buck. I really like the Tyrannus 9X Lite, I believe it's called, and I like the DX60 a lot. DX60 has a lot of bang for the buck, and I think they even have an 8-channel as well.
Can you control an easy plane with an easy power pack?
An easy plane? Yeah, the whole, if it says easy in front of it, our goal is to make that where it's a chuck lighter or the micro twin here, the easy power pack. So there'll be chuck lighters that won't say easy in front of that, and that'll be because they can only be chuck lighters. But if it's an easy chuck lighter, it'll go with the easy power pack, so you can fly it as a free flight and then make it RC later.
Any idea when the Harry Potter plans will be out?
We're behind on the plans, and it's just honestly, I gotta get the file done. It's nothing to do with anyone else but me, unfortunately. I'm gonna grab a battery real quick. There we go. I thought I had this laid out good enough.
We are still delivering during this time, right? Aiming is still able
Yeah,
to
we are fortunate. We have 2 warehouse locations, and we're able to still be delivering at this time, so we are in good shape. I'm just gonna.
Can the Simple Cub do 3D aerobatics?
Yeah, especially with the Aura, it's not a 3D machine, but you can hover it, which is pretty darn cool. I thought I put that one in wrong. So yeah, you can do really great aerobatics, knife edges, inverted rolls. I'm gonna put the Aura in this, and with the 3-axis mode turned on, one of my favorite things to do is have people hover it on its tail, and then I turn it off and let them try to do it. It's a little bit more challenging without the Aura in it. My favorite airplane for just general all around, I love the Sportster because it can do some really great aerobatics. There we go. That. Am I slowing down enough for everybody? Any more issues with that?
I haven't seen any.
Good.
I mean, really recently here, so I think we're. They're asking what's your background, like your birthplace and etc.
Birthplace? Oh, that's a great deep question. I grew up in Alliance, Ohio. I live in Homeworth, Ohio right now, so Alliance is literally 4 miles from us. I grew up on the northern side of Alliance, out in the country, and my parents had a small airstrip in their backyard, so I actually got to be around airplanes from birth. Some of my earliest memories is my mom and my sister would be going off somewhere to go shopping or run errands, and my dad would be like, "Do you want to go fly?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." Well, the hangar was like halfway down the runway on the highest part of the runway, and we walked down together, and he put me in, and even at a young age, I knew he taught me how to hold the brakes and how to do the mags, and he'd always do the same routine thing, you know. Okay, brakes, and I'd hit the brakes, and I'd hear him kind of push on it, and he'd pull it through a couple times, and then he'd go, "Crack it, contact, make her hot," and I would do that, and then he would prop it, and at a young age, all I remember seeing is the prop start spinning in his head, and then within a second, he would be down around, and I'd jump in, and we'd blast out the backyard, and it was just a really powerful memory that's far more special now to me, especially since he's passed, than back then. So, grew up in an airstrip. Airplanes were always in our lives. At a certain point, the trees got tall because it was only a 1,100-foot airstrip. The trees got too tall to be able to fly out of, and we moved to a local flying field called Barber Airstrip. And that's 2D1 if there's any pilots that want to look it up. It's actually where my Kit Fox is located at, and where you probably saw a lot of the Pete and Pole videos shot from. So we moved to Barber's, and that's when we couldn't really fly full scale out of the backyard, but we started doing models. And I was about 7 years old at that time, and that's when model airplanes kind of came in. And the first plane I built was a gentle lady, and I destroyed it in about 15 seconds, and it was just heartbreaking. And my dad would be patient and help me through every time I had to rebuild it. It'd get a couple seconds longer. And if you guys ever get discouraged, one thing I want to share with you is I started at 7, and I wasn't competent to fly an airplane until I was about 12 years old, where I could fly by myself. That's a lot of crashes in between. But what came out of that was a relationship with my dad, a level of encouragement that just has really impacted me. And also, he would always speak truth to me. He'd be like, hey, let's put it back together. And he'd be like, you know why that plane crashed? Well, you did something called a stall. Or do you know why, when you finish building this airplane, why I always wanted to pull to the right? Or you'd say, do you know what that airfoil does and why it's special? And he planted seeds at a very young age to get me to fall in love with designing, but also fall in love with the experience around it. So I'm probably going a little bit deeper than it should, but that's why I love aviation. I never went to college for this. All the knowledge I have is from an amazing father invested into me. The wing is done. So we got our ailerons. We can actually put these together. We can do something called flap-arounds, where it's flaps and ailerons together. It's a really simple mix done on your radio, or you can have it done on your Aura. But I think we put this aside and we start building our fuselage. How are we doing time-wise? Are we okay? Everyone okay?
About 70 minutes.
Nice. All right, I'm just going to pop out some pieces here.
Josh, what's your favorite plane to fly when you want to have fun?
Oh my gosh, it's the one that we're currently working on. The one sad thing is we jump from one plane to another so quickly. Every plane is our favorite, and then we move on, and I really regret until we get to like a flight fest, getting to fly other people's planes. I'm like, man, I gotta build another one of those. So if it flies, I love it, and anyone that knows me knows I'm telling the truth there. The planes that I would love to just always go to, the Simple Scout is probably one of my all-time go-tos. I always find myself building another one of those, either for teaching. The Cub is great, but the problem with the Cub in tall grass is it tips over, and if you put the landing gear far enough forward, or it doesn't do it, it looks funny. The Simple Scout has landing gear naturally far forward, and it just handles amazing on the ground. So I would probably say like one of my all-time go-tos is a Simple Scout. I love the Sea Duck. You can do things with the Sea Duck that are incredible, and the Sportster. Those are probably my 3 top picks. When it comes to the Master Series, I love the Corsair. The Corsair is amazing, and the Jug, the P-47, is probably one of the most easy flying airplanes I've ever had. And the size, the presence of it in the air, even the standard size, not the monster size, is incredible.
Cool.
Alrighty.
If they would want to learn how to fly on a warbird, is there a warbird that would be a good trainer?
If I would say if you're learning to fly, I wouldn't say start with the Master Series, not because they're difficult to fly, but because they're more complicated to build, or just a little more time consuming, I should say. If you're looking to fly your first warbird, I would say the Spitfire would be a really good first plane, the FT swappable Spitfire. So there's a Master Series Spitfire, which looks so scale incredible, and then there's a fun scale Spitfire, which is swappable, which means the power pod will go in and out. And a lot of people have had really good luck flying off of that one for the first time.
There's a gentleman saying you should build a flying couch.
A flying couch.
That might be quite a challenge there.
That would be a challenge. That's pretty funny.
So we had a gentleman wanting to know if you like cats.
Do I like pets or cats? Cats. Yeah, I don't have a problem with cats. I have an allergy.
It came
to
up
cats.
a lot a few seconds ago,
Really?
so I
Do I
just
like
figured
cats?
I would throw it out there. Why not?
I like animals.
We'll
Yeah.
mix it up a little
I don't
bit.
have a cat. I have a dog. But my dog likes cats. So.
Somebody upstairs accused
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I told you, it's the basement. There's nothing glamorous about this here. So guys, all I'm doing right now is I'm just cutting out all the pieces, or popping out all the pieces for the fuselage.
Let's see if I can stop it here.
Okay, there's that. And I'll pop this guy out.
If I want to build a drone, should I avoid printing a custom gearbox with PLA, or will PLA work without melting?
For a drone?
Yeah.
For, I'm wondering if you're saying drone like fixed wing drone or multi-rotor. If it's multi-rotor, I probably wouldn't do any kind of gearbox printed, period. I don't think it'll be strong enough, you know, to live. For that matter, even an airplane, any kind of printed elements, unless you have a really advanced filament, I don't think would hold up very long. So I'd probably avoid printing a gearbox, period. Maybe consider getting a motor that's proper to spin the prop and give you the power you need.
I don't know if I already asked you this. The Easy Pack, do we know when it will actually be available for order?
So the C17, which is this, and I think I have the box. It looks like this, right here. So this is the C17. That's going to be released very first. And then what we need to do is we're finalizing the kits for the Scratch Build Easy Pack. And if you guys want to jump into it early, this thing's amazing. You can fly this, you can have a lot of fun. I feel bad doing this, but check this out. Where's something I can throw it against? You saw that, right? It does it. It's spongy, it's springy, it's durable, and that's one reason why we picked it. So these have already shipped out to flitetest.com, and you can get that. So if you're interested in getting into it early, get the whole airframe. It's only about $10 more than the electronics only, and then you can take the guts out of it later and build the scratch builds. Dan Sponholz has already designed an amazing plane as well to go on the Easy Pack. So yeah, hope that answered the question. All right, so
Just the Easy Pack, not the plane.
just the Easy Pack, that's going to come, well, as soon as we get back. They're all ready to go. We got about 200 ready to go out the door. It's just going to have to be when we get back. We need to manufacture these kits right here. And once that's done, they're out the door. So it'll be hopefully April.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm opening up the cavity here. You're probably coming in. This is my son Michael, by the way. So, Michael, we kind of sold the computer down here. He was playing War Thunder, and we're like, we need the computer right now. But you've been having a lot of fun on that, haven't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I rock at it.
I don't think you're telling the truth, Jen. All right. So same process as before, friends. All we're doing is we're cutting down, not all the way through the paper, just down close to it, enough to get a nice clean crack.
Do you have to have wing flaps to
No.
fly a Simple Cub?
Nope. You can leave that and just do it as a 3-channel, and it'll fly amazing. One thing you can also do is you can have your ailerons, but if you're a beginner, you can center that. And if you center the ailerons, you'll be able to still fly it as a 3-channel. You just put the rudder into the ailerons port on your receiver.
They want you to do more live streams. They like it.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. I feel really guilty right now because I feel like I'm butchering this whole thing.
They too are calling you the Bob Ross of foam.
I was
No.
just thinking that.
I'll tell you, 2 people I deeply admire, Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers. And I'd be acquainted with either one of them means the world. So thank you guys.
Can you use a 10-4 propeller with a 2200 kV motor?
Wow, that's a pretty, that would be a pretty sizable motor, hopefully. I'm guessing you'd have a very big can, like a 26, 28 for 2200 kV. Just to kind of give you an indication, our 2218 motors, I believe that's a 1200 kV. So when you have high kVs, generally you need a smaller prop. So I would say no.
There is a gentleman that is asking if I fly, and if I don't, do you annoy me with your flying? I would say I don't fly. I haven't flown in years.
Yeah, has she flown? Yes. Can she fly without me? Yes.
Well,
But does she?
I haven't flown in at least a year, so I'm not
At
even
least a
sure
year.
I could fly right now. But
We should totally put you to the test in
Let's
the future.
not.
We won't throw her under the bus.
if
I have
you
a-
don't drive me crazy, you more drive me crazy with foam everywhere.
Yeah, I'm a messy guy. So, oftentimes Jen will come down, she'll clean up the basement for me, she'll make a space for me to work. And I don't like being down here alone, so what I do is I'm like, sweetheart, I'm just going to work on the kitchen table, and I build here. But then I say I'll clean up in the night, I never do it. I clean up in the morning, never do it. Next thing you know, my workshop is upstairs, planes everywhere. And she's
So
very
I'll just
patient.
clean it and take it back down.
Yeah, so she's awesome. Okay, so we got 2 doublers, friends. We have our, first of all, we have our area all cleared off. We have our channels opened up here and here, and we have our 2 doublers. What we're going to do is we're going to glue these doublers right over the etch lines that you see right here. So we'll do the first one. Doesn't have to be a ton of glue. Cool. All right. This is so cool this is going on. Again, friends, while this is drawing, I can't thank you all enough for your flexibility and your support through all this, and even just tuning in. And also, it's not only the great folks like you guys, it's the great sponsors. Again, we've thrown a monkey wrench into everything with our content, and for sponsors like War Thunder to say, yeah, keep doing the content, we love what you stand for, it really means a lot. So even if you guys can't build right now, maybe you're in an area and you can't travel to go fly, you can still connect. Check out War Thunder and give them a shot there. You can connect with friends and family. And
There's
play
going to
online.
be a link after the live stream too.
Oh,
they
is
can
it?
get on
Cool.
check.
There'll be a link after the live stream.
Do you think a DX6i is a good radio?
A DX6i?
Yes.
The DX6i is a really good radio, but it's a little bit old. So depending on what version you have, you may have the DSM2 protocol, and I would probably encourage you not to fly that one because you know that's a protocol that's not the most reliable. But if you're out in the middle in a country setting, or you don't have a lot of noise, or you're not in a flying environment with lots of planes, it'll be just fine for you. I don't think since they make DX6Is, they shouldn't be a premium. It should be a pretty affordable radio used. Frankly, I like the DX6E much better. I think it's easier to use, better protocol, and an all-around better radio. Also, it has wireless buddy boxing where the DX6i doesn't. Okay.
Vlogs, will they ever be coming back?
Vlogs?
Vlogs.
Right now we're doing vlog style content for our members. So if you guys look on our YouTube, you'll see, I think it's called Community or Join. We have a member slot, and we put out regular vlogs there and behind the scenes footage. That's much more of the vlog content style. So yeah, check that out. We do vlogs, I think it's like monthly, and then also the members get early release of video content.
Do you still fly paramotors?
We do. I was almost like right there. Up in my garage, there's 3 wings, and both my boys fly paramotors as well too. Frankly, Michael, who's my youngest, I think is the best one and has probably got the most flights now.
Whoop, whoop. Go, Michael.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal. They called him Tiny Tucker when they were teaching him, and that's a pretty big mantle to have. All right, so let's go ahead and do one more thing here. Let's get my little braces. Where is it at? I always forget to do this, and I have to kind of back up. There it is.
What is the biggest plane you've ever built?
What's the biggest? I think the Battleship was one of the biggest ones. Battleship was definitely the longest. C-17 or the C-130, the John Overstreet. I didn't get to build it, but got to fly it. I think that was one of the biggest. And then Ben Harbor's B-52. I didn't build it, but it was one of the biggest I flew. Let's see. I need a other there. Coffee stir.
If a child refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest?
That's good.
Sorry.
I like that. And the answer is yes. All right. I'm taking 2 little squares here. And this is, I think, something in the build video I said that you can cut out of scrap foam. But I went ahead and just kind of threw them in here. What this is for bracing your push rods. Because this is a push to positive and the push rod wires are very long, what I like to do is I like to give a little guide wire for the push rods to go through. And that's just what these are right here. So we're just going to go ahead and put a little drop of glue in.
Did you know the first French fries weren't actually cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece. That's from Baloo.
Oh, Baloo. I love you. That's awesome. So it's a big yes. We got to bring back dad jokes for video content or for build videos.
I'll believe for anything.
All
Who
right.
doesn't like a good dad joke?
All right.
What do you think of the mini F4U Corsair?
Mini F4U Corsair.
It went by so fast I couldn't find
Okay.
it.
I'll be honest with you. The Mini F4U Corsair is probably one of the most challenging planes that we have to balance out. That and the Punjet are real handfuls if they're not balanced out properly. If they are balanced out properly and you run them off a 5-inch prop, they're great. I would encourage you probably to do the FT Mighty Mini Mustang over the FT Mini Corsair. You're not going to have that iconic gull wing, but the Mini Mustang just flies on rails and a much better flying experience.
Recommended prop for a Spitfire?
If it's flying off of a CPAC radial, do a 10-4-7.
Do you have your pilot's license?
I am a student pilot still. I can fly, obviously, FAR 103 because you don't need a license. And when I was flying the Pete and Pole, I was actually flying to get my hours and finish it off. I'm yet to do so, but my goal is to actually, hopefully in 2020, finish off my private. I'm only a cross-country. My written needs to be redone, and cross-country, written, and check ride is all I need to do, and I'll have my private. Maybe take off a week and go do that, huh?
Is the new white foam any easier to paint?
Yeah, you're still gonna need to scuff it. So you still have to scuff your white foam, but it takes paint beautifully. Adam's Ready Board is phenomenal, but the problem with Adam's Ready Board is it will bubble if you just paint over top of it and put the paint on too heavy, where the Maker Foam doesn't bubble. Just a little scuffing, and if you guys look at John Overstreet, I believe he put out a video with the Spitfire on how to paint and some different paint techniques. You'll see exactly how he does that with the Maker Foam. Alright, so what I'm doing right now, guys, I'm just putting these little push rod supports here.
A lot of requests for the B29 kit.
The B29,
A lot.
that's great. Ask them if they'd like to see a B17 or a B29 first.
Oh, you're gonna cause some problems.
I know, I love it.
Because the
Instigator.
B17 people are.
You okay, love?
Yep, allergies. I promise.
Allergy season hit at a bad time.
It's allergies, my
Okay. All right, so guys, you're gonna notice that I went ahead and lifted this up, and now we have a nice angle here. What I want to do is I want to rotate this 90 degrees and let this naturally hit this top plate of the fuselage, just like this. Once you're happy with that, we're gonna go ahead.
Caster bomber.
Laying casters are amazing. Whoops, don't worry if
Do you know when
messy.
the John's F16 will be in the store?
When the BDFs are in, we're going to do, I believe, the F16 or F18 first. I'll find out, but they're going to come out really close to each other. John's done a lot of really good designs that we're sitting on just because we want to wait and couple them with the BDF. There's one side. This little guy right here, if you ever build a Simple Cub and you're like, why can't I get good authority? Oftentimes it's because this is missing, and you just want to put that in.
Someone's asking how to start their own FT STEM chapter.
Oh my
Is there
gosh.
information somewhere?
Yeah, FTSTEM.com. Also, I bet you Trevor and Jake are probably on here right now. They can chime in here. But check out FTSTEM.com, and also they're doing a lot of really cool things with that. There is a paid side where teachers get the licenses and the full curriculum. There's also free content for people to be able to do in homeschools, outreach groups, in your own home with your family and friends and loved ones. Check that out, both of them. And we're going to be adding really aggressively to that in the very near future, just to give people as many different at-home activities they can do together.
Should firewalls be straight or bend to right angle?
All these firewalls are actually straight. The tail surfaces are oversized, so the torque effect is not that much with them. On our Mighty Minis, it's actually angled to the right to counteract that thrust and that torque. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do this next side here.
Do you have a recommended best beginner goggles?
Oh boy, that's a good question. They've changed a lot. We had some Visions that we liked that were like $150 goggles, but I know that those are now outdated, and I don't think they even make them anymore. If Maddie's on our comments, have him chime in on that.
So a gentleman wants to share his dad joke.
Yeah.
Why do ducks have feathers?
Why?
To cover its butt quack.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's epic. I love it.
I thought you'd like that one.
Covers putt back. Oh, I love you guys. This is great. All right, let's go ahead and take a pause here, and we'll just kind of recap. We've done both sides here. We should have it 90 degrees on both sides. One thing I haven't done, and I'm sorry, is I haven't taken my triangle here. I'm just eyeballing it. But you can always take a triangle here, triangle square, and make sure it's true. Once this is dried, let's go ahead and do our top piece here. And we're going to open this up, and we're going to do a single 45-degree bevel right here. If you guys are wondering what this is for, this is so you can put a camera from the back end and fly at FPV.
Someone's asking, will Andrews be coming back?
Andrews right now is in college. Actually, I guess he's not at college right now. I'm sure he had to go home.
He's probably homeschool.
Yeah, he's
college.
probably homeschool college right now. But the door is always open with Andrews. My guess is you'll see Andrews. To what capacity, we'll take him however much we can get from him. But he is doing amazing things, becoming an aeronautical engineer. The answer is yes, he will be back, but I don't know if he'll be doing the summer internship. All right, what I'm doing here is I'm going to just do a simple fold over. Use a scrap piece of foam. We're going to go ahead and fold that up, count to 10. Then we're going to fold it over one more time, and I'm just going to kind of smear that excess over. And what this is just doing, this is just kind of finishing off the edge here, giving us a nice, oh, got a little dirty thumbprint there, giving us a nice clean edge. All right, while we have this here, let's go and open this up and do a test fit. This is going to rotate here, and a very easy way to press this down without burning your fingers is to use the table as your friend and press this down just like this. Once you're happy with the way it fits, we'll open this up.
Best beginner drone.
Best beginner drone. Oh, that's a really good one. I love, Jesse Perkins has something called the Tiny Whoop, and I just think the world of it. Now that's more of a
It's right
racing
there?
drone. Yeah, it's actually right here. This is the brushless Tiny Whoop right here. And if you don't mind spending the money on it, it is a phenomenal drone that you'll be able to grow with. Now, if you're looking for a first experience and you want to get everything together and you don't mind sacrificing a little bit of performance for just getting everything as economical as possible, Emax makes like this easy drone. A couple key drawbacks is you're not going to have the yaw authority and the power that will cross directly from one to this. I would say if people have the funds, I think these are 130. This is definitely a really good solution. But I would also say if you're a child and you want to get them in a hobby and you want goggles, transmitter, everything, the little easy quad from Emax, it's like 115 for everything, and it's a decent experience. You'll fly it around the house and have fun. It'll teach you the principle or the basics.
Did you already go over paint techniques for the new foam board?
Yeah, John has a whole video that we have on our FT Tech channel, our Flight Test Tech channel, showing how he paints models and really cool techniques on warbirds and things like that. So check that out in the Flight Test Tech channel. Okay, so we got our top windshield. We're going to open this up just kind of like the lid of a car. And we're going to put a heavy bead of glue focusing right down between the paper and the foam. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of drop a little bit of glue here, kind of reinforce that joint. Again, we're going to open this up.
The European distributors will be selling the radial motors and the foam board, correct?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's going to be all of our electronic line, all of our foam board line, including raw foam. So you'll be able to get sheets of foam.
Trevor said FT STEM questions can go to www.ftSTEM.com/support_contact and contact them.
Did he put it in the thing? Maybe we can pin that comment.
He may
So,
have. I have
yeah.
it here, but I don't know if it's there.
FlightTest.com/support_contact.
Did you get it?
Or
Let's see.
FlightTest
It's in the blue.
FTSTEM.com/support_contact. And I bet you if you go to FTSTEM.com and look for the contact, that'll be the domain. Yeah. Trevor and Jake are awesome.
Where is your test field located?
Test field? Well, right now it's in our backyard. So we have the coolest neighbors. We fly some pretty sketchy stuff in our backyard. Whenever I can, I go to Edgewater and fly now too. And speaking of Edgewater, typically we do Thursday and Friday nights. Obviously that's been halted because we have to have social distancing. But there are still people coming out, just keeping social distance from each other. The clubhouse is not open and our upstairs isn't open for the community. But you can, find a pilot station. It's technically an air park, which is really nice, so people can still fly. But if you are at a local distance, just please, keep that social distance and that spacing from people. Okay. So we have our fuselage done. Let's go ahead and work on this portion here.
What did the pirate say on his 80th birthday?
What?
Aye, matey. I'm 80.
I like that.
That was from Dan.
Good one, Dan.
Drink some water, Josh.
Oh, can you tell him get a headache, huh?
No, that was a comment.
Oh.
We have water for you right there.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
table.
right there. Get some Advil. I got a dad joke.
Real quick, one question, and then would the FT PNP Adventure be a good plane to start with?
The FT Adventure? Truthfully, the FT Adventure flies good, but it's not a beginner plane. If you put the Aura in it, you could have a good experience, but between the FT Adventure and the Beaver, I would say the Beaver is actually easier to fly, and it has a great spot where you can just drop the Aura right out of the box into, and at that point, it's kind of like the Mini Apprentice. With our Minis, it's not typically what people expect with Minis. They fly a bit faster, and if you're familiar with any of our Mighty Mini lines, they fly almost identical to that, so they're a touch faster, but they're a lot more durable. One thing that really frustrated me with mini airplanes is when you'd hit a tree or cartwheel them, you'd break a wing, and a wing would be $20, and then you'd end up spending so much money in repairs just from a minor crash. When we came out with a Mini, we really wanted to be a lot more substantial, and that's why you notice that the Beaver and the Adventure have struts, but also we wanted to make it, again, so it could be opened up and, you know, electronics swapped out and things like that very easily. So, you know, I wouldn't say that they're a beginner plane. I'd say they would be a great first 4-channel. If you're looking for a beginner experience out of it, pick the Beaver and put the Aura in there. And you'll see in our video on the tech channel, we actually walk people how to do that. And from that point on, it's like a tiny apprentice. And I would say absolutely, you could learn off of it.
If they purchase the kits from us, is there any cutting involved?
Is there any cutting involved? No. What I'm actually building from right now is a laser cut speed build kit. So this is what the one down in Maker Foam will look like. So all the score cuts will be done, all the cut throughs will be done, and you'll even have like A folds, B folds, etching, things like that marked out for you. So this is what a speed build kit looks like. It comes with everything but the electronics. You have your push rods, you have your firewalls. All you need to do is get your electronics, your battery, and your transmitter, and you're good to go. If anyone's wondering with the Simple Cub, a Power Pack B is what we recommend for you. And with our new radials, you can have a really good beginner experience with Power Pack B, but also it's 4-cell capable, which means you can put a 4-cell in there and then you have a real rocket ship. The B pack under a 4-cell battery gives the same power as our old C pack on 3-cell.
The SR-71 Blackbird kit, when is it coming in?
We haven't done an SR-71 yet.
Well, I mean, could you do a kit?
Oh, could we do a kit? There's actually
I confused that with my other
We could
question.
definitely look into that in the future, but there is an amazing community member who's been sharing a really good forum thread on his design of that. So go ahead and follow that. If enough people like that, we can see what we can do.
When they order a new plane, will it be white or brown foam?
If it's a new design, so if it's a Master Series or a new plane, I'm working on a Simple Stick right now coming out. All of our new designs coming out are in white Maker Foam, and then you'll want to look before you order, and if you see the plane in Maker Foam, it's available in Maker Foam. We're working slowly backwards, so Simple Cubs, there's a lot of shops that have the brown, but the new shops ordering are also getting the white Maker Foam versions. Our Tiny Trainers are now in Maker Foam. Let me think, what other ones? Maybe our Arrows are in Maker Foam. So when you see online, you'll see very clearly if it's white or brown, and you'll be able to see this Maker Foam. But eventually we'll work backwards through all of them.
If they have a Grotner radio, are they out of luck now, or is there somewhere if they need support?
Oh, that's a really good question. There's lots of online content, on, as far as technically for Grotner. I believe Grotner is still active out of Korea, if I'm not mistaken. Korea, Vietnam, wherever they originate. So my guess is the answer is you'll still have a level of support. They just had to retract, and they're no longer in Germany. I believe they're where their parent company or holding company is. All right, what we're going to do here is we're going to put a thin bead of glue down. Again, we're going to fold this up 90 degrees. We're going to give it about 10 seconds to dry. Rather than putting glue globs in, I'll just use a scrap piece of foam. And we're going to fold this over. We do this for a nice clean edge, but also for a little bit more durability. You're going to notice a little etch mark back here. We're just going to give this a little tight bend in, just like that. Good. Did I forget? I think I actually forgot one of my own steps. I'm so embarrassed. Should have probably peeled this piece of paper off. We'll just do that. Sorry, friends, it's been a little while.
Unrelated question.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Top Gear?
I love Top Gear, yeah. The original.
Will you be transferring all of your kits to Maker Foam in the future?
Yes. as long as people continue to like it, I think it's just a really great product. All the benefits of the original white, but it has you can put a couple decals on it and it looks really good. So what I'm doing right now, friends, is I'm just test fitting this, and that looks really good. And you're going to notice right here where the landing gear ends is right where we want this to stop.
Can I use a radial power pack B for a Master Series Corsair?
Truthfully, that'll probably be on the light side for that plane. You'd have to fly off a 4-cell, but also balancing would be an issue.
All right. What happened to the RC car channel?
Drive-on's just been paused a little bit. We wanted to make sure that we focused on, you know, what our feedback was giving us, and that was that people really wanted us to focus on our video content around the main channel in a specific format. So we took that to heart. I think the car channel will come back. There's going to eventually be a lot of car driving, you know, areas on Edgewater. It's just we want to, if we're going to do it, we want to do it right. And we saw that we were spread a little thin and consistently not doing the job that we wanted to do on all the channels. So we had to put some on hold, but we will be coming back in the future.
DX8 versus DX6.
DX8 versus DX6.
Yep.
The difference is about $100. The 6 honestly will take care of any airplane that we have. One thing I do like is I'm kind of adopted is you can have power in the transmitter or you can have power on the airplane. This is going to be a selfish plug. What I like about the Aura board is I can have differential mixing, I can have really advanced features, I can adjust my dual rates, my wing configuration, and I can fly it off of an $89 radio. And the cool thing is when I go to buy into a new airplane or go to fly a different airplane, all the sub trims, all the features are stored on that specific airplane. So even if you have a buddy that says, I want to fly your airplane, you can let them bind it. All the mixes, all the tunes are done on the plane. I think one thing that we've kind of had over the past is we've been used to going to the transmitters to make all the complicated stuff, when really that's only related towards that one airframe that you're flying. So why not let it stay in the airplane and let your transmitter be the simple thing? And so that's kind of the vision I have, but the DX8 is a good radio. It's just really, what are you looking to do? The main flexibility in adding more channels isn't necessarily a more complicated airplane, but it has more to do with, it has more to do with, you know, I want to have my 2 aileron servos go to separate ports. I'm going to have my 2 elevator servos go to separate ports, and I'm going to go ahead and mix those and individually be able to address them to have them behave differently. That's where more complicated radios really kind of shine. All right. So what I'm going to do here.
Real quick, why don't you back up the servo?
Why don't I back up the servo?
It's a question. I didn't know if it was specific about this build or not, so I thought I'd ask.
Back up the servo. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Are they asking to go back to the servos?
No, he just says, why don't you back up the servo?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll try to figure out what that
sorry.
one means. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to go ahead and do this back part first.
For 14-year-old students, would the Easy Glider or FT Sparrow be better?
Oh, Easy Glider. Easy Glider is so much fun. Matter of fact, that was one thing. If you guys really like these build-alongs and these live builds, I was kind of wondering if we should go to something that's a free flight glider, like the Easy Glider for our next one. So let us know if that's something that you'd be interested in, because what I'm kind of picturing is families at home right now together. I want there to be a project that creates a memory at the end of it. So I'm using the table as my friend. I'm just holding this down, kind of pressing it on both sides. I'm going to give this about 30 seconds. There you go. Now I can open this up kind of like a trap door.
Can I fly my Simple Cub with a CPAC?
You can. Just keep in mind it's going to be a little bit heavier and it's going to be a lot faster. All right. So now that we've test fitted this is so amazing, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this. There we go. And we're just going to close this. I'm just going to take a scrap piece and kind of press this down. And a really easy way to keep this fit is, again, use the table as our friend. And we're going to rock this back and forth, just like that. And what we're doing is we're just kind of pressing this down, and by rocking it back and forth, we're making sure we're addressing that whole area on there. And then I'm just going to hold this there for about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Lots of people keep doing builds live. Keep doing builds live.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They like talking to you guys and watching and hanging out. And
We're loving this too. I was honestly really concerned about whether this is going to be a coherent build or not, because typically it's do a couple steps again, and kind of go back and forth. It's not done in one length. So please don't hesitate. If there's something I'm breezing over, you need more explanation, I really want you to have a good experience. You're going to spend 3 hours with me. I want you to come out at the end with a benefit from it. But we do appreciate you guys doing this and participating in this. I hope we get to do it more too. Okay, so we have our top piece. Let's go ahead and put our attention towards this piece here. Let's go ahead and weed it out.
Yes, to an easy glider build along.
You like
or
that?
Easy,
Awesome.
Yeah, pack build along.
So if anyone's wondering what the Easy Glider is, it was actually designed specifically for STEM. Big shout out to Trevor and Jake, because for a long time they were doing the Sparrow and the Tiny Trainers. Problem with the Sparrow is there's a pretty unconventional glider and pretty short coupled, and the Tiny Trainer was frankly just too complicated. So they asked for a very simplistic design that could be put together that didn't require bending or molding foam like the Tiny Trainer had. And so I designed the Easy Glider. Now the only thing I'm going to break the rules is the Easy Glider is too big to fly off of the Easy Pack. I didn't really have the vision completely around, and we're trying to find a motor solution for that, but we don't have it. So I hope that doesn't cause too much confusion between the two. But the future lines will be profile and stuff. Cool. So guys, something kind of cool. A lot of you guys have been asking about swag and like shirts and stuff. We haven't been really solid on that. We're working with Custom Ink now to try something new. In the past, we bought a ton of different clothing and stuff, and it's just kind of like we always got the sizes wrong. We're going to be working with Custom Ink to actually bring out unique swag, and they're going to be doing a custom order for people and drop shipping it. And it's going to be really helpful in this time as people having to shelter in place and stuff. They can kind of be able to not have it hit as many different places where that is disrupted. So I'm wearing right now, we're going to bring back the Simple Cub shirt. And if you guys like that, you'll be able to get it. And I think we'll start
Just for the next 4 days. There is going to be a link in the description.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, the black Cub shirt will be available for 4 days.
And one reason we're doing this is Custom Ink has been just an amazing partner for us. Everyone has different challenges right now, so we're trying to find unique ways to help other businesses too. And I think this is a really cool way to solve two problems: get better on our swag game, but also give you guys some content you want and our products you want, and also help a local amazing business.
Why does the Cub fly so high?
Why does the Cub fly so high?
Yeah, there's a gentleman asking it quite frequently, so.
Maybe you could get a little more description on what he means by fly high.
Okay.
He may be asking one thing with the Simple, or specifically with the Simple Cub, it's a trainer with a flat bottom airfoil, so if you give it full throttle, the plane's naturally going to pitch up, where a lot of aerobatic airplanes or planes with symmetrical airfoils or planes tuned to fly faster will be a zero thrust line. In other words, you give it full throttle and it goes straight. So maybe what he's talking about is, why does the Cub, fly high? If you just fly at full throttle, you're going to see the plane naturally pitch up, and that's because it's meant to cruise around half throttle. Full throttle is meant for a sharp climb. You decrease throttle, it's naturally going to pitch down. So maybe that's what he's talking about. What's his name?
The comments are still going pretty
okay.
quick, so
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can you please go over A and B folds?
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, let's see if we have it. I think this is our last fold, but what I'll do is I'll do a little demonstration of A and B folds at the end of this video to show you guys once again. That's a great thing. Just verbally describing it, A fold is where the side plate goes above the bottom plate, so it's always going to have to do with the orientation of the top or bottom plate. With the B fold, the side plate is beside the bottom plate. And the way that you'd fold these is with an A fold, you would have the side plate against the table, and you'd rotate the bottom plate up, which would help you push down on the table, get you a nice clean joint. And then with the B fold, you're actually leaving the bottom plate, and then you're folding up the side plates next to it. I'll go ahead and give a demonstration at the end of that. Just remind me in the comments. Okay, let's go ahead and glue this down real quick. We've test fitted this. We're going to start this right here, where we're going to leave a small little gap for the landing gear. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll this around, and we're going to glue it to about right here. Actually, you know what we'll do? I'm just going to try this in one step. I don't know if I'm trying to follow along with the build video, but I'm just going to do this in one step here because I think it'll be a little bit easier.
They're asking, what are you going to do with the specific plane when you're done with it?
I'm gonna fly it with my family, and honestly, we had a Simple Cub that we were using to teach people how to fly, and we were also testing the FT Aura. I crashed it, and it was funny because I was showing off launch assist where I put it on the ground. Where did I put my razor blade? Sorry guys, this is embarrassing.
What is the gap for?
Sorry. Sorry guys. Okay,
Landing gear.
there we go.
Landing gear.
What I'm gonna be doing with this is we tested the Aura on the original, and I was actually demonstrating where I put the transmitter on the ground for launch assist. I would throw it. Well, the plane had the board come loose, so when I launched it, it immediately just turned and went to the top of a tree and stayed there for about a week. And then I got a pile of pudding back by the time it was done. So this will probably be flown a little bit, and then when we get to teach people, it'll be one of the trainers. So one thing I like to do, specifically with trainers at Edgewater that I use, as people learn, because we probably taught almost 50 people how to fly off of the original Simple Cub at Edgewater, I want them to start putting their name on it and signing it. So do me a favor, if you guys are ever local, and we get those Thursday and Friday nights back, specifically Thursdays, I love teaching people to fly. Don't be shy and hesitate to come out. It's one of those things that just makes my heart so happy. Okay,
What was the hole for?
the hole?
Yep.
This hole?
That hole.
This is for your landing gear. So this slot here, this open slot's going to become for where your landing gear is.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to put a nice healthy bead on both sides here. This up. Right around, there's one. There's two. Oops.
What's the average price of a ready-to-fly plane?
The average price of a ready-to-fly plane is probably about $279. That's, you know, radio, everything, $299 maybe, depending on what kind of radio it is. If they're talking about what's it cost for electronics in an airplane, that's all over the place depending on what you get. I would say an average P&P airplane receiver ready is about $200. What we're going to try to do for, especially for young kids and for people wanting just to have immediate fun, we wanted a solution that was under 50 bucks, and this little guy right here is going to be $45. So that way you can get in the hobby really economically. That's going to be everything from your transmitter to your battery to the airframe to the electronics, everything you need ready to go for 45 bucks. So this is a really great first exposure for people, and also for adults for that matter. It's a phenomenal flying little airplane. Although you're not learning true, you know, servo inputs, the control board makes you feel like you're flying a plane that has servos, which is really exceptional. So if you're looking to get a child into the hobby with the first experience, start them with something like this. They're gonna have a victory. It's incredibly durable, and they'll also be able to learn with it with the STEM program.
P38 landing gear video? Is it
Oh, that should be up now. That was my fault. We actually had that shot, Noah behind the camera. We actually shot that video, and I never uploaded it. So check for it now on our tech channel and let us know if it's not there or not. So what I'm doing right here, friends.
They'd like to know if you still have feeling in your fingertips.
I do. The funny thing, well, I shouldn't demonstrate that.
No, don't demonstrate
from
that.
From auto body, I cut my hand so much, my nerves are kind of dead in the tips of my fingers. So I have a little bit more feeling than I used to, but that's probably what they're doing. I used to do a really bad thing where I take the hot glue and I just smear it with my fingers. And I stopped doing that because I had a lot of parents say my child was imitating you, and they went ahead and smeared it with their fingers, and now they have blisters. So I'm trying to be a little bit more responsible with that, but I do have a little bit more feeling in my fingers now.
They're
What?
saying it's lagging a little bit.
Is it lagging?
All of a sudden, yeah. What are your thoughts about open source multi-protocol transmitters?
Like the jumper? I mean, I don't know if I'm really good to have an opinion about it. I mean, it's what at the end of the day, it's what the industry is demanding and stuff. I would say if there's a protocol that is proprietary or private, then you should not have access to it. But things like DSMX and stuff, I don't think are proprietary. They're just pretty much exclusively used. So that's a good question, and I really don't don't know where to go on that. I don't have enough knowledge to give a good opinion. Okay, so what I did here is I went ahead and carved this out, and that's going to allow our power pod to slide through. This is the power pod that we built earlier, and what this will do is this will just slide right along that guide, all the way back, like that. And that actually looks really good. So everything fits. Let's go ahead and put on the tail and get our servos in. We're almost done.
Can the Master Series Spitfire have landing gear?
Boy, let me think. Yes, but you would need to put that in yourself. We didn't put any hard plates in there, but if you look at what we did with the P-47 with putting hard plates on there, you can do the same thing with the Spitfire. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the fuselage to the side here, and we're going to go ahead and grab our control surfaces that you see right here. First thing we want to do is we're going to do a light score cut.
Off topic, but Juliana Carter keeps asking, are you a Christian?
I'm a believer, yes, bought by the blood.
She's asked it enough times, I figured we're going to throw it out there.
No.
Why don't you use the Graupner vector board?
The Graupner vector board.
That's come up a couple times. I think it's the same gentleman, but just in case.
That's a good question. I think the vector board, if I'm not
Is it okay to put the Power Pack B on the Spitfire, Mustang, or Racer?
it would be a little too small. If you did the Power Pack B, you would definitely need to compensate it with center of gravity, like a little bit more weight in the nose, and fly it off of a 4-cell. If you're using the old Power Pack B, it's going to smoke the motor or the ESC. You'll need to use the radial. I strongly recommend flying those planes with the C-Pack.
Any thoughts on bringing back the pre-built Gremlins?
I don't know if they won't be able to be pre-built in-house. We had a lot of fun with that, but that was a very difficult challenge. But maybe someday we will have a flight test Gremlin-sized quad that's pre-built that's available. So again, Maddie's been working really hard. He'd be a really good person to answer that. He's driving one of those projects. I miss the Gremlins though. There we go.
Alright, I'm going to video for a second. Noah's going to run upstairs and check.
Okay. Are you checking to see the internet connection? Cool. So I'm sorry guys if we're having a little bit of lag. Maybe they're capping us for the day. There's also a lot of people homeschooling because of what's going on, so that's been causing some internet issues too. Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm basically putting another thin bead of glue right over that paper.
Do you think you could make a mannequin fly like a superhero?
That would be awesome. I think that's definitely a rainy day challenge for sure. That would mess with people because that'd be so scale, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. Doing it with your finger again, man.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Should I keep it down here?
Huh? Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay.
This is fun. Jen, thanks for doing this with me.
Are any of the FT guys interested in helicopters?
Oh boy, I want to say I thought Maddie flew these and was playing around with them. I actually had at one point I had 3 helicopters. I had 2 Blade 400s, I had a SR and a CP Pro that I flew. And I found that I just get so stressed about it because, you know, back then the gyros, the tail was going to stay locked in, and so I'd be going around a hard corner and it would just kick out on me. But you actually bought me my first helicopter for Christmas, the CP Pro. So there we go.
I'm not sure whether to look at your hands or your face.
No problem. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick test fit. And if it works good, I can leave it right here. I'm going to slide this right in, just like this. And what I want to see is when I lay this flat like this, that both of these are equal to the table. And if they are, it's not a big deal. All I need to do is just kind of crush it down a little bit one way or the other. And then the glue is going to hold it at the final angle. So if you look here, that actually looks really good. There you go. Is that
Trying to.
good?
I'm not your filmer very good.
I'm probably talking
I'm
soft
better at
myself
reading
here.
comments, I'll be honest.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Sorry.
That looks good.
Alright,
Is that-
Noah's back.
Is it any better?
I think
Maybe
so.
someone's upstairs playing that game.
It probably is.
I hear you right that you're developing a simple stick?
Yes, yeah, we are doing something called the Simple Stick. This has actually been the idea of a foam board stick is not new. Dan Sponholz did this years ago, and did a great job. I want to do another Simple series, but we've already covered the entry level. The vision behind Simple series is very few parts, very quick assembly, and a really good experience with whatever you're learning. So the Simple Stick fits that bill. And the only difference is it's going to have a symmetrical airfoil instead of a Clark Y, and it will also be done in maker foam. And my goal is once we have the Simple Stick out, I want to see LEDs go in it. We'll call it the glow stick. So we're trying to work simultaneously and finishing off the Simple Stick, and then also doing the lights so people can light it up for night flying. A cool thing about the Simple Stick also is I'm working on including in the kit a twin motor variant, so people can do the twin stick, which was a really cool mod that people did on the original stick series where they had two motors. There we go.
Well, the lag is much better now. Or there's no lag. It's much better
Oh,
now.
good, good.
Andrews is watching.
Andrews, I miss you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Hope you got home safe from college and everything, and things are going well for you.
Is there a release date on the BF 109?
BF 109, I think what we're going to do is put it out for a vote. We have a couple designs that are ready. BF 109 is all planked. John's already done the build video, and all we need to do is get it manufactured. The P51's coming next, and I believe we have the Trojan, the Simple Stick, and the Trojan Simple Stick, and the BF 109. So we'll probably put it up for a vote and see what you guys want to see in what order. The Simple Stick I think can actually go out because they don't really cross with one or the other, but the BF 109 and the Trojan, we got to figure out which one you guys want first or second. Okay, so our tail's on. Let's go ahead and put our elevator.
If you don't have wheels, what would be a good alternative to wheels?
If you don't have wheels,
If you don't have wheels, do you have any alternatives that might work as a wheel?
yeah. A couple things you can do if you don't have wheels. You can take a pool noodle or the pipe insulation foam, and you can run a dowel rod or bottle caps. So see these bottle caps here? You can take a pool noodle. You can take two bottle caps. You can carefully hot glue because the pool noodle is not really easy, or use contact cement or something, and you can stick it in there. You drill that, and you get a really nice lightweight wheel. The other thing you can do is take a whole bunch of circles of foam, glue them together, and then run a straw through the middle, and that will make a really nice wheel. It won't last as long, but I do see a lot of people that'll put tape around it, and they'll get a good, couple weeks out of it. All right, so I'm pitching these guys together here.
R. Gomes just made a big donation.
Oh, Mark?
R and then Gomes, G-O-M-E-S, I think.
R. Gomes, thank you so much, man. Thank you for your support and also for being part of this. That was incredibly kind of you. Oops, I got the bottom tab out.
They were asking what plane is Mike flying in the game,
What
but
plane?
I'm not sure. He's
So
upstairs.
he just started the thing I think yesterday, so he's still flying the very first one. I think, is it on the it was on the computer. I know we had both screens going. Do you know how to do that, Noah?
Yep.
We'll show you which one's on there.
He'll have to switch it back over.
Ready? Try to do this through the phone.
Whoa, where's
That one.
That one.
It is.
It's a pretty one.
Let's see. Well, it is the.
We're trying to look.
Yeah, it's. Which one is it?
Wow.
P28A?
It's I think one of the very first ones that you start.
Yep.
It's a cool looking plane though.
It is. I think that needs to be a master series. You know what I'd love to see as a master series is a Polycarpov.
Wow. That was the name of a plane?
It is. It is a name. It's a Russian fighter. Yeah.
Yep, the P28 or P26A.
A lot of people are yep, P26 they're guessing it, or they're over here.
They're saying?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
P26A.
Cool.
This gentleman flies the Catalina in War Thunder.
Oh, does he? Awesome.
Yep.
Hey guys, do us a favor with War Thunder. If any of you guys are watching this and you play that, well, maybe Austin or Alex can find a way. We gotta get you guys together where all the community can link and do battles and missions together. Because that's the cool thing about War Thunder. It's all linked online, so people can fly together. So do us a favor and share your profiles, and maybe we guys can get you guys to fly together and battle together. All right, so we got the rudder on here, and the one thing we want to make sure with the rudder is that it's perpendicular to the elevator, and in this case, it is. It looks really good. If anything's wrong with it, you can always kind of bend it one way or the other. You kind of crush the foam and then let the hot glue fill in that gap, and it works really well. So, yeah.
What kind of glue do you use? They notice that you can lay it down and it doesn't harden right away. Hot glue.
Okay, so we have if you notice our glue sticks, this is our float test. This is our Flite test glue sticks here. We worked with Heigl adhesives and actually came out with a special blend. This has a lot more binders in it, so I don't know if you can. It's hard to describe, but it's not rubbery. It's kind of like a hard plastic, and we have a lot more binders and I think olefins in there. If I'm getting it wrong, I'm so sorry. But we made this specifically because a lot of our friends in Florida, when they would use the more multi-purpose hot glue, they'd put it in their car, the car would get hot, and then they'd come back and everything would just be undone. This glue holds up to a higher temperature and it has more of a plastic feel, and it's a little bit more rigid. So we didn't need the rubbery nature, we needed the gluey nature, and Heigl stepped up in a big way. Our glue sticks are no more expensive than what you get at Walmart. It's just that you're gonna have to get a shipping. So if you guys are going to our store or to a hobby shop, we sell, I think it's 10 sticks or 1 pound packs of this, and it's phenomenal. That's wild. They recognize that or they realize that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what is the current situation with the FAA and remote ID?
Really great question. And first of all, thank you guys for what you did with helping us out here. If anyone doesn't know about what remote ID or what the current thing with the FAA is, they basically came down with oh my gosh, Section 349, and there was a lot of stipulations with that. And what that was is basically there's things like you had to pass a knowledge-based test, you had to be part of a CBO with official safety guidelines that were recognized by the FAA. A lot of those things kind of were approachable and could be navigated, but a big thing that messed everything up was something called remote ID. Remote ID is where they want to be able to know what's flying in the airspace and what that vehicle is connected to. So this plane is over 250 grams, and unfortunately a lot of people they view anything over 250 grams as what's commonly seen as a drone. And for the people that were writing those original laws, a drone is what they would picture someone going to Best Buy, like a DJI Mavic, or a vehicle with GPS, the ability to geofence, and a lot of advanced features. They really didn't understand that we're building these in our basement, that these planes need pilot control all the time, and that caused a confusion where the rules were just not compatible with the type of flying we did. You guys came in a big way, and I think we had over 56,000 comments, and also you helped us out by sharing your testimonies and doing a survey for us on our FTCA website. And what that enabled us to do was go to Washington multiple times and really to proactively educate them. Right now, the comment period is over, and especially with the coronavirus, I don't see that anything's going to happen really quickly. But what they do have to do is they have to take all 56,000 of those comments and they got to resolve them. And when I say resolve, they got to take the advice, the feedback, the pushback, the reality checks, and they have to address them, compartmentalize them. They have to acknowledge them, and from that, final rules will come from there. And you guys did a great job. Everything's been done. I guess it's probably going to be a couple of years of them having to hash through that before anything major is made. And the reason I'm saying that is recently a law came into effect with general aviation where there's something called ATSB, which let planes that were flying with people in it always be able to be tracked. And that took 11 years to put into place. So if I can encourage you, we're going to be on top of it. We have a new 501c3 called the Flite Test Community Association. So we'll be working with the U.S. government and the FAA to try to make sure that we're advocating and protecting this hobby. On the same time, take this time now to go out and safely enjoy the hobby with your friends and family. And also use the FTCA website. There's this portion where people left their feedback and their stories. It has a really good way to search that. So say I'm in Ohio, I can type in Ohio. I can get every testimony from Ohio, I can package it up, and I can send that to our representatives in Ohio. That's a huge deal because now you can say, here's my story, here's why I don't want you to impact the hobby in a negative way, but also here's another 50 stories. Or if you're from the military, you can keyword search military, it'll pull every military story. And if you're looking for some inspiration, just read through those testimonials on the FTCA website. They'll put a tear to your eye, but you'll see also this hobby is so much more than just flight. This is changing lives, this is inspiring people to be educated, this is connecting families, and this is healing. So we definitely want to protect it, but that's where remote ID is. It's kind of now, the work has been done, we're waiting for them, but in the background, we are going to proactively be pursuing to educate our representatives to make sure that they know how important it is to protect the hobby. Sorry. I didn't breathe in that one. I hope was that understandable?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
I've got an easy one for you now.
Okay.
The Flite test glue, can it be used in a Walmart glue gun?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how can you keep the paper from peeling off of the foam?
Okay, so that's a really good question. This paper is put on through heat and pressure when it's manufactured, so it will peel off. You know, if you poke it. One thing, if you want to keep the paper on the foam, and I oftentimes do, especially with the amphibian planes, is I'll actually go ahead and I'll brush either nail polish, or I'll take hot glue on a scrap piece of foam and I'll trace the perimeter, and then I'll cut a little V-notch, kind of similar to what you see here, and then I'll drag it and squeegee it off. And what that'll do is it'll seal all the edges of the paper really nicely. If you're flying something in snow or an amphibious plane, this is something you have to do. You really can't avoid not sealing your edges. But also, if you get really good with your glue gun, as you seal this down, your glue is going to push out just enough to seal all your paper edges, where all you'll need to do is just go over the edges that you see here, and you'll be just fine. All right, want to do some control horns? All right, so there's one control horn here. How are you guys doing? Everyone good? Noah, you okay?
Oh yeah.
Your back getting to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can put that up for a vote. I don't know how
Whatever
people
you
feel
want.
about it, so I'm
Yep.
doing okay.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
How are we doing with retention? Are people still engaged?
You still have 960
Oh my
viewers.
gosh, you guys are amazing. Holy cow. All right. After this is all done, guys, we are definitely going to be looking for your advice on what you'd like to see better. If I'm not talking and you can't hear me enough, we'll try to adjust. And also let us know if you want us to do it again, especially during this time. We're loving it. Okay, so all I'm doing is the same process as my ailerons here. You can see that I just simply went ahead and dry fitted this in. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where my elevator is. And right about the center of this control surface, right about here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bend this straight down.
How many times do you think you have built the Simple Cub?
Oh my goodness, a lot. I probably built about 20 of these. So,
At least.
little funny fact is, anytime we build a design, especially if it's in house, and I'm sure it's the same for John. John is always building multiple things, but from beginning to end, there's probably about 10 to 15 planes that we'll build before you guys get the final version, and sometimes even more if we have difficulties with either the build experience or the flying experience.
So we have another dad joke from Dan.
Okay, I'm ready.
Want to hear a joke about a piece of paper?
Yes.
Never mind, it's terrible.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Okay, so you guys see, I went ahead and I just bent this right about the center section right here. What we're going to want to make sure though is when we mount this servo, we're going to want to get this push rod as high as possible so the power pod can glide in easily. I'm going to grab my little servo right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take off this tape. When we glue this to the sidewall, we don't want to glue the sticker, we want to glue the whole servo. And we're also going to go ahead and put lots of little cuts with our razor blade in there. You can also use really coarse sandpaper. And if you're working with children, this is something I probably say do for them or to closely monitor, because it is easy to, cut yourself. Sandpaper would be the better route to go.
Can you make planes out of cardboard?
You can make planes out of cardboard. Yes, they're not going to last as long and they're going to be a little bit heavier, but you can certainly do that. A lot of our friends in countries where they can't access this or they can't afford this material, they do that. For the hole, we're going to go to the center hole on this, right here. If you're a beginner and you want really minor throws, you can go to the closest one in.
Do you think that you guys will be at Oshkosh this year?
Boy, I'm going to hold off on saying that. I don't know where this whole thing with the coronavirus is going to go. It could be a thing of the past by the end of April, or it could be something that goes through the summer. So I don't want to say yes or no until we find out whether Oshkosh is still going on, and then also where we're going to need to do with the company and with our people. So I'll hold off, but I would love to go to Oshkosh this year if at all possible.
Does the Cub do well with paint jobs?
It does. It does. It also does well with decals. You can put a couple simple decals on here. If you're going to paint, check out John Fury's paint on our tech channel, his tech tip or his tips on that. And then also scuff it up. It's always important to scuff it up and then wipe off that excess to give the paint something to bite into. I love Rust-Oleum, by the way, as a paint.
There's a gentleman building a 300% Simple Cub, and he needs advice on how to make the wing split.
How to make the wing split? That's a great question. Okay, I would say, do you think about that one? What? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and move this here. And if you're looking here, I'm moving this until the elevator is perfectly neutral. Now I'm gonna hold this for a good minute and a half because if this comes loose, the plane's not gonna fly well, obviously. If I was gonna do a giant Cub and I was gonna split the wings, I wouldn't do the split in the middle because that's where all the force is gonna go. What I would do is I'd have the wing in 3 sections. So I'd have the full center section, and I'd take that center section as wide as you possibly can, at least wider than the stabilizer, because then you could have actually the wing and the whole plane put together, and then I'd make the outer panels plug in. If you guys saw how I did the Sea Duck, the Monster Sea Duck, that's how I'd probably do the Cub, and I'd have the wing in 3 sections.
Someone's asking if we ship full boxes of foam and how much. I don't know the price, but we
Yeah,
do
we
ship.
certainly do. And the Maker Foam's available too in full boxes. Something about the Maker Foam that's really cool, that's different, is typically foam comes in 30 inches by 40 inches. What we did with the Maker Foam sheets is it's actually a 40 inch by 30 inch sheet that's slit down the middle with a score cut, and then it's bifolded. So you pull it out as a 30 by 40, a 20 by 30, but then it unfolds to a 40 by 30. And that was fully for the ability for people to lay it out, and when they scratch build airplanes, they're not having to have a bunch of seams everywhere. They can actually just have a big open workspace and also build bigger airplanes easier. All right, so we have one in. Let's go ahead and put the other one in. And we still have to go back and do our control horns on the back. There we go.
Are you recording so this will be on YouTube later to rewatch?
I think it automatically records it all, so I'm pretty sure, yeah. There we go. We'll just slide this in. Let's grab my other servo.
Right here.
Oh, thank you. Same process before. I'm going to go ahead and mount this a little bit lower than the other one so these wires don't touch.
Can the old non-radial Power Pack B motor power the Simple Cub?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. The Simple Cub is really friendly to lots of different motor options. It's small enough that a small light motor can fly it, but also I see some people put some really big motors on there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. This is nice and neutral right now. Just a little bit behind it. And the one thing I'm going to do is I don't want these guys to hit, so I'm going to go ahead and just rotate this 180 degrees. I probably should have made this a conventional Z-bend.
This is a question for Noah. Are you sitting or are you standing this whole time?
Standing.
He's standing, man. His back's on fire.
Do you want me to get you a chair?
No, because
Sure.
let's just say this is like arm day.
Arm day.
This tiny phone is, it gets heavy after the first hour.
What is the fastest plane we have at Flite Test?
The fastest? Our wings are really fast. I would say you could probably build a really fast wing.
Do you prefer the Simple Cub or a Simple Scout for the first and second flight?
Oh, that's a great question. I love the Simple Cub is our most popular with our community. My favorite one, honestly, I build the Simple Scout because I love touch and goes and I fly off a lot of high grass. So as far as the community, they prefer the Simple Cub more, and I fly the Simple, or I build the Simple Scout more. And the downside of the Simple Scout, though, is the wing is also fixed on the airplane. You can't take the wing off, where the Simple Cub you can. So it's really just whatever's right for you. Truthfully, in the air, they both fly almost identical.
There's a gentleman asking again, I know we already did this, but what prop do you use for the Spitfire?
What prop do we use for the Spitfire?
Yep.
We use a 1047, I believe, on a CPAC. All right. I'm just going to test with the power pod, make sure I didn't put this down too low.
Why does the Pete pole get no love?
Why is the built Pete and pole or the
I'm guessing the model Pete pole? I don't
model?
know. Don't you guys?
I'm crazy about the Pete and pole. No, honestly, we design a lot of different airplanes, so we move on very quickly. By the way, if you guys are wondering why I went ahead and glued this, I'm talking and wasn't paying attention, and I put the servos too low, so I made it impact. So I'm just moving it closer to the top here. There we go.
Let's see.
Is the Master Series Spitfire a good first plane?
I would probably start with the swappable Spitfire. If you're a builder and you love building, the Spitfire was incredibly easy to fly, but the swappable Spitfire has big undercambered wingtips that make it fly much slower. It's a lot more draggy of an airplane, but it's also incredibly docile. You can really pull it up and turn on a wingtip, and it does really well. So if you love building, you could certainly do the Master Series Spitfire, but it's not going to be as gentle in the air as the original swappable one.
How many times have you burnt yourself on hot glue?
I can't feel my fingers anymore, so not too often. So our new hot glue gun is going to have a selectable temperature, and the neat thing about it is I love working with it in the middle, which I think is like 150 watts. I got lots of capacity, but the glue is at that sweet spot where it doesn't bubble, it has a nice thick spread, and it dries really quick, and I can go over with my finger and wipe it up really quick. I wouldn't recommend that to children, though. Don't do that. All right. So let's go ahead and let's slide on our power pod and just do a quick test fit. There we go. That's exactly.
Is the Mini Corsair a good first 4-channel plane?
No, I would say honestly the Mini Corsair is difficult to build and it's also difficult to fly. So I would say it's advanced on both categories. If you're looking for a Corsair, the Master Series Corsair is honestly, in my opinion, easier to build and easier to fly than the Mini. Anytime you make a small airplane with that kind of complex stuff, getting the balance right was really difficult, and also the flying characteristics were a touch difficult. If you want a Mini Warbird, do the Mini Mustang.
If you had any guess, how fast does the Simple Cub fly?
On a 4-cell, 35 miles, 45 miles an hour, and then on a 3-cell, I would say 30.
Do you prefer the Tiny Trainer or Simple Cub for beginners?
Oh boy, honestly, I think I like the Tiny Trainer is a classic trainer. It is meant to train people, and you can train people really quickly on it. The Simple Cub, I would say you'll grow with the most. So the Tiny Trainer, it's good, but I would say if someone's looking to get in a hobby and they want something they can grow with and they can appreciate and they can pass down, the Simple Cub's really good. That said, our Tiny Trainer is our #1 most popular plane.
GBZ, please.
GVZ model. I love that one. Yes. Okay, I think we're actually ready to put radios in. This happened really quickly. Let me get some barbecue skewers over here in the corner.
Would you recommend flying the Cub on a 2-cell?
What's that?
Would you recommend flying the Cub on a 2-cell?
No.
Josh, do you like to fly gas planes?
I love flying gas planes.
You might want to answer over here. I'm not sure they
I'm
can
sorry.
hear you.
My wife asked if I like flying gas planes, and I'll give you a hint. Yes, I fly gas, and I'm looking to put this in something. I got actually 2 of these, but we do fly gas planes. I just haven't had the opportunity to build one in a very long time. Okay, so let's see. I got my barbecue skewers right here. Hope I'm not getting too scattered for you wonderful folks. To put the barbecue skewers in, we're going to go ahead and slide on both sides, and then we're going to pass it on through.
Let's see.
There we go. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and cut it about the width of the thumb. Just like that. There's one. And the reason I pass it through on both sides like this before passing it all the way through is it makes it much easier to align with the hole up on the other side.
I'm supposed to tell you. Let's see.
There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put some radios in it. So I'm going to do something a little different here, and you guys can follow along if you have conventional radios, but a lot of people had questions about the FT Aura, and I just wanted to go ahead and kind of do this live and walk you through what it's like. Plus, I'm going to be using this as a trainer, and I love the level assist and launch assist features of the Aura. So hopefully we can kind of give you a quick demonstration, and also show you how this would go in. So that's our FT Aura board. That is our flight stabilization board. It works with Spectrum, it works with FreeSky, Futaba, Graupner, but basically what you need is a serial link for that. So we don't use a typical conventional receiver. We use something like a satellite receiver like what you see right here. The really cool thing about this is you have a lot of really cool features where all the power is in the board here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all this unboxed.
Josh, have you flown the SIG 4-star 40?
The 4-star 40? Yeah, I got a balsa kit in my garage for that. Actually, I got the 4-star 60. So yes, I've flown it. I love it. It's a great classic model. Man, you guys are getting me nostalgic.
How is that better than an AR? Uh-oh. I lost the number.
You lost it?
Yep. Sorry, here, I'll go back. How is that better than an AR 620?
Is he talking about the receiver?
I think so.
Okay, so the AR620, you're still going to have multiple ports here, but what happens is this has all the tunes and profiles configured. So you can basically have 3-axis and 6-axis stabilization. You can also do things like differential mixing. You can do differential stabilization. You can do VTail mixing, Aileron mixing right out of the controller, and you actually don't even need to hook it up to a computer. This has the ability to go from wing mixing to standard fuselages or standard conventional flight using our smart guide, but also these 2 buttons here. Also things like sub trims and stuff are all done right through the buttons. You don't have to use your radio and lock in those trims to your radio. It'll store it on the board specifically. Great question. All right, so I'm just going to kind of guide you through what this looks like. The first thing, mounting is going to be really important for this. We're going to want to make sure we mount it correctly, and then this is going to be, if you're doing the out-of-box tune, which we are, this is going to be the setup that we're going to want to do.
What FT radio would you use in a 4-star 40 electric conversion?
Oh, what FT radio 4-star 40? Oh my golly, I don't want to butcher this, but you definitely have to use at least a CPAC and probably on a 4-channel. I think, honestly, the radio motors that we have are too small, probably for the 4-star. I think that takes a 45 equivalent, which would be like a power 10 or a power 15 motor. Our monster radio, that swings a 16-inch prop, and I think that would be too big for the 4-star 40. If you had a 4-star 120, our monster radio would be perfect for it. There's my little double-sided tape. There it is.
Sparrow question.
Yeah.
Why did you drop the Sparrow from a 4 to a 3-channel and stop recommending the F-Pack with it?
The Sparrow on the F-Pack was actually never really meant to be flown. It actually works best with an A-Pack. And then when we released the Twin Sparrow, there was a lot of things I learned between those 2 different versions. And frankly, I like the Twin Sparrow so much more. So when we came out with the Twin Sparrow, I think we recommended doing the 2 motors and then also the 1806 if you're doing single. Also with the F-Pack all the way on the back side of the Sparrow, you needed a tremendous amount of battery or nose weight to even make it fly, and people were having a lot of difficulty with it.
Do you like pineapples?
I love pineapples.
I thought you'd like that.
My wife can testify to that. I love pineapple. It's a miracle fruit, really. All right, I just cut a little notch out here. I'm gonna stick this in, just like that.
What's your favorite plane? Do you have a favorite just plane?
Oh boy, you know that's been asked a couple different times. I think the more I'm asked that, the more I'm realizing the Simple Scout's probably my favorite. And then I love the Simple Scout and the Sportster and the Sea Duck a lot. Those seem to be go-tos for me all the time.
How fast does the P40 fly on a 3-cell?
How fast does the P40 fly on a 3-cell?
Yes.
Boy, that's a great question. 45 miles an hour? I have to remember my orientation there. It is that way. I'd say 45 miles an hour. It's not overly fast. Just to make life a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and mount this down. We're going to want the pins in the back, the satellite receiver in the front.
What's the best way to balance a plane?
When you take the balance points, measure it from the leading edge, and then what oftentimes I'll do is I'll put a little drop of glue on the bottom of the wing or cut a little tiny hole. On the Simple Cub, you'll see 2 cut holes. That's actually the center of gravity area right there. Man, a lot of great questions.
Have you ever made a Cessna seaplane with floats?
Cessna seaplane with floats? I have not.
That floats, not with floats.
Oh, that floats. No, on that either.
Josh, I cut the wires on my 2218 radial. Is it still under warranty?
You cut the wires? We told people we'd take care of them. Go ahead and give us a call, and all we're going to ask is that you send it in, and we'll send you a new one.
Why don't you build planes with flaps or more scale features?
Well, we want people to have a really good experience, and honestly, we try to go a solid 80% on every one of our models. The additional 20% is based on your imagination and your skill. So it's more important for me to have everyone have a good experience starting out and then take it to that next level and then share their talent and experiences. So are our planes capable of that? Yeah. Is it up to you to take it there? Yeah. But look on our forums, look on our article section. You're going to see a lot of great modifications that people post, and we'll celebrate that. Our desire and passion is to get people started, and then the community is what takes them the distance. Okay, so we have this in here. Our throttle port is going to go into S1, which is right there, and our signal wire is on the top.
If you put the power pod in so the thrust angle is slightly up and it pitches up at high throttle, is there a way to variably trim it?
You could do a throttle mix, but what I'd strongly recommend is to, if you have your power pod and your firewalls angled up, especially through a crash, just cut it out. Take your motor off, cut it out, and cut a little down angle. I can't think of many situations where you want any kind of up thrust in an airplane. Typically, you always want down thrust, unless it's mounted like really high above the airplane behind. Then you want to obviously point towards the center of gravity. But I would strongly recommend to just cut your firewall and move it right rather than doing a complicated mix. Alright, so we have our rudder.
Can you fly the Simple Cub or Simple Scout on an APAC radio?
No, unfortunately too big. Now you can do the Mighty Mini Simple Scout, or the Mighty Mini Scout will work on an APAC radio, and it flies fantastic. Alright, let's slide this in here.
Are you going to fly the Simple Scout today?
We're going to fly the Cub probably in the next 15-20 minutes. There we go. I went ahead and just did a Y connection. I'm not going to do any kind of flap ROM, so this is going to be for my ailerons. My next servo port is going to be number 4. That's my elevator. Here's my elevator one right there.
Let's see.
How's everybody doing?
What receiver or light would you recommend for a Taranis QX7?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Maddie just did I'm looking at my wonderful wife, I'm sorry. Maddie just did a tech channel video, and it's binding and hooking up the Aura to the to FR Sky. He specifically recommends some different satellite receivers, so I would check out that tech channel video. Nice thing about it is there's no modifications to the FR Sky protocol or any of the subtrims. It just simply works. The Spectrum, what you typically need to do is do 125% on travels of aileron, elevator, and rudder to get the full benefits. Now with the DXE, all we're losing is about maybe 10% of the throw, and this is a trainer anyway, so it's totally fine. DXEs are kind of locked in their features unless you want to connect it to a computer. I really wanted something that could just work out of the box with the most simple radio possible. All right, last one to go into number 5. That'll be rudder.
What power pack are you using?
What power pack am I using? I am using the B-Pack radio. I'll be flying, I believe I'll be flying off of a, I missed my pin. I'll be flying off of the 1300 free cell.
Trying to pick questions we haven't already answered, you know what I mean? Because some of them I don't know if they were there in the beginning to hear.
Oops, I gotta do, guys. I just gotta slide this forward and make my connections. There's one.
Is the Simple Storch a good beginner plane?
Simple Storch is fantastic. Yeah, I really like the Simple Storch. The Legacy is also phenomenal first plane too. It's based off of the Telemaster, and the Telemaster is oftentimes known as the #1 trainer in the world for a very long time. There's that. All right, let's go ahead and power it up.
Would a heavier 3-cell work with the Cub?
Yeah. The battery actually gives the center of gravity for the Cub. So if you have a heavier battery, you just move it further back. If you have a lighter battery, you move it forward.
Favorite balsa build you ever did?
Oh my goodness.
Telemaster?
Telemaster.
I'm going to say you built a lot of those.
Yeah, the Telemaster was around when I first started dating my wonderful wife. And actually, I think I was on number 4 by the time I started dating my wife. And that stayed with us all the way, I think, till our kids were born, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and bind this real quick. Let's see.
Are you going to put landing gear on this plane?
Yes, yeah, we'll definitely put landing gear on it.
Do you have an FT Master Series build plane?
Do we have one?
Do you have a favorite Master Series
Oh.
build?
I love the Jug. Every one that John comes out with is amazing. I do gotta say the P-51 Mustang, although a lot of people know the Mustang for being difficult to fly, it is incredible. And then the BF-109 that he's also designed, I really had my reservations about that. And if you look at the tank episode, what we were able to do with this plane, it's on rails. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in real quick. And you're gonna notice that it's flashing right now, and that our receiver is gonna go into bind mode any second.
Do you like
There it is.
jet-powered model aircraft?
I do. I've gotten to fly a couple. Ali Machinchi was really amazing, and he let me fly the radio. I'm holding a little bit of distance because it makes these things bind a lot easier. And it's bound. Any second here, we're going to see it reacting. Hopefully. There it is. All right. Well, I plugged my elevator and my rudder in the wrong ports, but I can fix that in a second here. I'm going to do that right now. Just going to swap these two. I want to show you a couple really cool features. Now, this radio has no, we're not going to do anything with the settings on the radio here. We're going to do it all on the board. All right, no, can you see inside
What
that?
simulators would you recommend?
What simulators?
Uh-huh.
Simulators I recommend, well, DCL, if you're looking into quads, the DCL is not only an amazing simulator, but it's an amazing video game where you can play with people, much like what you see on War Thunder. So I'd say for quads, DCL, and then Real Flight is probably still where I go to for that. Really, there's not many other simulators that are mainstream other than Real Flight for fixed wing. But we are going to be trying out different ones and hopefully see more flight test models on future ones too. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I want to show you guys a couple really cool tuning features on reversing and stuff.
I have a DX8 transmitter. Am I out of date?
No, you're great. You're great. Huh, something I almost forgot. This is when I do more talking than anything. I better lock these suckers down.
Did you glue the rudder and elevator control horns in? I missed that part.
I have now, yes.
What prop are you using?
I'm going to be flying on a 3-cell, a 1047. Now with our B-Packs, it comes with a 947, and that works great on a 3-cell or 4-cell. If I fly a 1047, I can fly it on 3-cell, but I can't fly it on a 4-cell. So the only reason I grabbed the 1047 is I broke all my 947s at the shop.
What power pack would you recommend for a small P38?
For a small P38, if it's small, I would do the A-twin.
Make sure to check your crap before you fly.
Yes. So we just had to do right now. Okay, friends, I want to show you something really cool here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press down 2 buttons on this for 6 seconds, and that's going to put it into quick set mode. And that's going to be the bind and the trim button. We're going to count to about 6 seconds. And you'll see a green light. There it is. Now watch what we're going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and loosely assemble the airplane.
You're good.
And I'm going to go ahead and go through my controls. Now, typically, when you do reversing, you'd have to go through the controls on your airplane itself, and you reverse at the transmitter. We're going to actually do this through stick motions. So watch this. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go right aileron. That's correct. So right and left is correct. Now my rudder is backwards right now. So here's my rudder. When I push my rudder to the right, it goes left. You don't want that. The way I'm going to fix this is I'm simply going to hold my stick all the way to one direction for about 6 seconds.
What is the first RC plane you ever built?
There we go. Now my controls are right. The first RC plane?
The first RC plane you ever built.
The first plane I ever built was with my dad. It was a General Lady. Well, it wasn't a motor glider. It was just a sailplane. General Lady sailplane. I was 7 years old, and my wife found this and saved it. But that's me.
89.
89.
You're old.
I
No.
know.
Wow.
Rub it in.
Hey, can you use monocoat on foam planes?
You can. As a matter of fact, if you guys look at the Skyvan where we dropped the car, we used it. I think you don't want to go above 275 degrees. So if you have a low melt film covering, like it's meant for foam, it'll work even better. All right, so let's go ahead and do our elevator. Again, our elevator is backwards, and then the way we'll fix this is we're just simply going to hold the elevator up for about 6 seconds. And now let's reverse it on the board. So all of our controls are the same. Say I take this and I want to bind it to my DX9. I can simply go ahead and bind it. All these settings, all the reversing is there. So now, the next step, all my controls are working. My next step is I'm going to check the gyros. And rather than having to check the gyros on the computer, all I simply have to do is move my airplane. So I'm going to go ahead and bank this right. And you're going to see that this elevator moves, or this aileron moves down to correct it. That's correct. And I'm going to pitch it down. It's making an up motion because it wants to level out. And my rudder's right too. So anytime if I tilt it to the right, I want to see it react, but you have to go past about 30 degrees. So the last thing I want to do is I want to set up 6-axis mode, so that way if I want to teach somebody or fly with somebody, I can. The quick set guide shows how to do it. All I need to do is, I believe I hit the, let me see, the 6-axis is on mine, I believe.
How do you reverse throttle stick on the Aurora board?
How do you reverse throttle stick?
Uh-huh.
It shouldn't need to be reversed.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure he cleared his transmitter completely. If he has an FR Sky, he may need to change it in his transmitter. Okay, I'm going to say 6-axis is fine.
Someone's trying to tell you that you're only 37 years old.
I'm only 37? I'll tell him I love him. Bind button. Where's my little trim button? Change your mode.
Do you know of any free simulators out there?
Yeah, there are. Just type in free model simulator and it's on there. I'm drawing a mind blank here. I'm just wanting to make sure it's either the bind or the trim button. Here we go. Change from 2-axis to 6-axis, or 3-axis to 6-axis. We're going to do the bind button. The trim button actually sets it to Aileron mode. The bind button sets it to 6-axis. That's going to be the last thing we're going to do real quick.
We're up slightly over 1,000 viewers again.
Are you kidding me?
Might want to thank them and
Awesome. My wife just told me we're up over 1,000 viewers. For you guys to come along, I'm guessing we're over 2 hours now.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling it.
It's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
The fact that you guys have hung with us for 2 hours and 45 minutes just means so much to build along, and I can't wait to honestly see what you guys are doing with this. We're ahead because of you guys. We're keep moving and we're inspired and we're connected as a family because of you guys. And also, I want to thank our sponsors too, for them to give us flexibility to suddenly go from making strategic content around crazy flying tanks and saying let's go ahead and do a build video with our community to keep everyone moving forward. The fact that they buy into it means a lot. So War Thunder, thank you so much. And friends, we know a lot of you guys are part of War Thunder. Do us a favor, connect as a group, fly together. And if you guys haven't tried it, War Thunder's free. Give it a shot. They're our sponsor for this video.
A lot of folks are saying thank you so much for keeping us sane during the quarantine.
Oh,
so
really?
keep this up. Yeah,
Well,
keep going.
Honestly, I'm sorry this is a longer project, but let us know what you want us to do for the next one. If we can make this better and make this a regular thing, especially through this time, I want to do so.
They want to know if you have any ideas when the next one might be.
Well, how about this? We'll finish this video, and then you guys let us know what you thought of it, what we can do better, and then we'll see how quickly we can adjust, and then we'll try to schedule the next one. Because I love this. I feel like we have a living room filled with 1,000 people. I'm going to go ahead and just use a stick here, but I'm going to hold down on the bind button here for about 6 seconds, and you're going to see this cycle through 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. There we go. So what we've done now is we've actually set this up to have a 6-axis mode. So we call this level assist. What level assist is going to do is if I center the sticks, the plane will automatically level. This is also really good when you're teaching people. Maybe they get in trouble, you can flip it into level assist mode and it'll correct it. It's kind of like a panic mode too. So we have that. We're going to go ahead and exit that. All I need to do is hold down on both buttons here.
So this comment I'm reading just because it's YouTube here. Do you want to build a snowman?
Do you want to build a snowman? I'm done with winter. No. By the way, I don't know how many of you guys agree, but Frozen 2 is my favorite Frozen.
Your favorite
Do
Frozen?
I have to give up my man card now?
No.
Oh no, that is no.
Alright, so the gentleman that was asking about the small P-38, he said it's a very small P-38.
Oh boy. The only thing we could put, if it's a very small P-38, it's going to be a very fast P-38. The only thing that we could really probably offer would be the micro twin, and that would be for that would probably be like what you'd see on the FT Dart and the Twin Sparrow. Okay.
Hello, Bart said your man card is destroyed.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming. All right, we're gonna check the modes again. I'm working on an $89 DXE radio, and mode 1 is no gyros. Mode 2 is level assist. So as I move it, you'll see it wants to level out for me. And mode 3 is aerobatic. So you're gonna see it's gonna react, but it's in 3-axis mode, which is gonna take out all the effects of the wind. So our radio is now connected. We're ready to go. I think the last thing we need to do is put the landing gear on, and then go ahead and put the prop on, and we'll go out and fly it.
Show us your toilet paper.
Did someone say that?
Yeah.
I'm not showing you my stash.
Our stash isn't that big, let's be honest.
I know, I know.
We've got 5 people here and not enough. No.
How do you know if I don't have a big stash?
You're funny.
All right.
I had a question and I lost it. That just made me.
I'm gonna need to get some rubber bands. I'm gonna go ahead and just unhook this right now for the moment. It's so funny because typically, friends, to be honest with you, we actually take little cycle breaks through this whole process. So the fact that you guys have hung with us this whole time is just truly special. While we're at this, let's go ahead and lock in our power pod. And the way we're going to do this is the same thing as our wings. We're going to go ahead and poke on one side.
Someone's asking, how do you join War of Thunder?
How do you join War Thunder?
Yep.
Stefan, I believe, already put a link in there. Click on that link, and it has a lot of really cool features, especially if you use
If the
our
link's
code.
not up, I thought one of the links we're posting will be right after the video, so I'm not sure
Okay,
if it's
yeah.
up yet or if it's coming.
Yeah, wait till after the video. You're going to love it. One thing that we really love is history, and the cool thing about with War Thunder is it's not just airplanes, but it's tanks and it's warships, and it's all different planes and vehicles. But it's almost like you could freeze frame it and then look at it, and it's like art itself. You get to see what it carried. You get to like get the internal views and see inside of it. A lot of science and a lot of history behind it, and then you get to fly and do battle.
So there's a gentleman who's asked a lot. He wants a mini punjet for the mini guinea.
A mini punjet. We'll have to use like an easy pack. That guy's a glutton for punishment. I'm just gonna say that's powerful. That's a powerful ask. You okay, Max?
What is the best plane for the F-Pack, and can it handle a 4-cell?
The new radio F-Pack can handle a 4-cell, no problem at all. The ESCs actually say 20 amp, but if you could, if you run them hard, you can run them all the way up to 35 amps with very little problems. I would say F-Pack, do a mini Mustang, or do, if you like wings, do the Arrow. Those would probably be my 2 favorites. Okay, so we got this. Landing gear. I owe you guys a landing gear still. Oh my goodness.
Here's kind of a crazy question. How do you plug the power supply into a receiver for a gas or glow planes? I can't find anything that tells me what port to plug into. I have a Futaba
Okay.
R308SB receiver.
So the cool thing is on a receiver you have a ground and you got a power. You can plug it into any port you want, but typically on Spectrum you'll see bind. That's where it usually goes into. But I would say really any port you need. I wish I had a receiver in front of me. You have signal, power, and ground. All you need to do is any of those ports, it'll power all of them. Hopefully I'm right, and if I'm wrong, guys, please correct me in the comments. All right, I need a wire. I brought no wire. I can't believe we still have. I honestly, when I pictured starting this, I figured by the end we would be down to like maybe 50. You know, the fact that you guys are sticking in here just means so much. Thank you. All right. By the way, if you guys love an awesome compact long flying airplane, this is the Nano Goblin. It flies for 45 minutes. It's FPV. It's awesome. That's one of my favorite. If you
Do you know
want a scratch build.
War Thunder will work with Chromebook?
That's a good question.
It should.
I think as long as it has a powerful enough graphics card. My guess is there's forums out there that will probably be able to tell you.
Okay. Do you yourself fly quadcopters?
Yeah, I do. A matter of fact, my favorite quad right now that I'm flying is the Versacopter Slim, and I have a couple different Gremlins, and then Jesse blessed me with an awesome brushless whoop that we fly at our shop all the time. So, am I talented and good? No, but do I have fun? Yeah. So the Versacopter is my favorite outdoor one, and then the Gremlin and the Tiny Whoop are my favorite indoor. So what I did, friends, is I went ahead and I bent this halfway in the middle, and all I'm doing is I bent a little bit sharper than it needed to be, and I'm just going to open it up until it meets that perfectly. I'm just gonna
This
go ahead.
gentleman says War Thunder is awesome.
Yeah, War Thunder's amazing. I'm really blown away. I didn't know much about them until recently, and again, we're not a gaming family, but we're quickly really enjoying War Thunder.
What's the pros and cons of direct servo hinge and linkage hinge?
Direct servo hinge and linkage hinge. I'm trying to think what that means. Direct servo hinge and linkage hinge.
Maybe we'll get more.
Oh, okay. I think I know what they're talking about. Direct push rods versus linkage stoppers. Comes down to points of failure. The benefit of linkage stoppers is you have very easy adjustment. The downside is you have more mechanical pieces. You have a pivot point on your servo arm, and then you tighten down your push rod. A lot of times people don't get the geometry right, or they over tighten their linkage stopper, and what that causes is it causes it to bind. I like simplicity, and also I recognize the fact that not everyone has access to linkage stoppers. Our power packs come with linkage stoppers, that's good, but we don't want people to have to buy our power packs to have the full experience. So I always try to teach the most simple, even if it's a touch more difficult. And I think you can choose one way or another. If you guys do use linkage stoppers, make sure that you don't over tighten it on the servo arm, but you do give it plenty tight where it pinches the rod. Linkages are another thing, and those are phenomenal, but those are typically used for bigger models that have a direct link. Monster series and stuff is about as big as I would go. If it's a fast plane, I would go to a linkage, which is a threaded rod with a ball socket, and you can have minute adjustments. You can lock down, and it's very, very strong. Again, it's a little bit more advanced than most people are going to need to go. I forget the actual adjustments, so I'm just going to measure off on my Scout real quick.
Where's the characterized cartoon behind you on the wall?
This right here?
Yes.
Or this one?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's this
I'm
one.
guessing it's that one,
So,
yes. And Bob's on. He just came
Bob's
on and
on?
said, no,
Oh
you're
my
doing a great
gosh.
job.
No.
So for my 40th birthday, Bob Parmalee, who, if anyone doesn't know, we call him Background Bob, but he is a hero to us. Bob, for my 40th birthday, had this drawing done. This is a picture of me, my Pete and Cole.
And then
all
there's
that.
another one in your office
And
that's
there's a-
more flight test.
He actually had 2 of them made, and yeah, I just love them to death. So it looks like we have 5 1/4 inches.
And Noah, Bob says you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
All right.
We're getting a lot of the same questions you answered in the beginning, so I don't want to repeat. There is a gentleman wanting to know if Andrews and Jeremy are still working for us, and he's asking it a lot, so.
Oh yeah, well
They're just not in front of the
now
camera
everyone's
as much.
working remote. Anders is in college right now, so he's not working for us. But he is definitely part of the family, and you can definitely count on him making some cameos. Anders designed some beautiful airplanes for us in the past as well that are still going to be coming out, like the Versacopter Slim. Jeremy definitely still works for us. He's doing editing in a lot of the recent episodes that you've seen, including the ones on the tech channel. He's editing from home right now, so he's not in content as much, but he is definitely part of the team. So we're gonna go, let me see here. I forgot the dimension. I'm totally pulling a mind blank here. We're gonna go 6 inches. That should be good. There we go.
Do you have to do anything different for the Aurora to work with the 3-channel plane?
No, with the 3-channel plane, the 6-axis really applies to ailerons and elevators. So if you're doing a 3-channel plane where you're using aileron, elevator, and throttle, you're fine. If you're looking to do like a tiny trainer or do like a Simple Cub, you can plug it in, and I did test it with the ailerons, but keep in mind it's seeing the bank and it's reacting with rudder, so it will react, but it won't be nearly as crisp as if you have the ailerons on there. So if you're doing a 3-channel and you're wishing to use the Aura and the training benefits of it, I wouldn't worry about the rudder as much, and I would do the ailerons, elevator, and throttle. You'll have a great experience. Great question.
We understand you're getting tired after talking for 3 hours, but they're asking you to speak up a tiny bit.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I mumble a lot, so I'll do my best. This has been amazing, actually. I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'll just caffeine up a little bit better, so sorry about
Well, it's also an hour longer than we anticipated, so you're doing well.
I'm loving it.
You're doing good. How can you make your own control horns?
Great question. If you guys ever get gift cards, you can use a pair of scissors and you can cut your control horns out of gift cards. Also, hotel room keys work really good. And any kind of plastic that you can come across will generally work really well for you.
Can a Crossfire Nano receiver bind to the FT Aurora?
Crossfire. Okay, so one really cool thing about the Aura is it's pretty much forward compatible because as new protocols come along, if it's not capable of it now, the great folks at Flex Innovations, they actually write it in a firmware update, and when you do a firmware update on your Aura, it then can accept new protocols. I want to say that Crossfire is good, but if it's not, it'll come in an update in the very near future. I know recently Spectrum put a new protocol out that wasn't compatible, and I know they're already bench testing it, so it'll be working very, very soon. So I hope that answered your question. Maddie, if you're on there, maybe you can address, because I know you fly Crossfire and have some experience with it.
Recommendation for your voice for next time?
Yeah.
Tea with honey.
Tea with honey. I like that. That's good. This is just...
They care about you.
Yeah, I feel the love, guys. This is just really special.
How do you balance family time with RC time?
Oh, man. I'm first of all... I make all my family work with me. So my wife, if you guys don't know,
We do it lives.
Yeah, we do it lives. My wife does customer support or tech support that is mainly around the channel and stuff. So we have the great folks at Amy helping us with tech support, and she oftentimes works in conjunction with them. Noah, you've probably seen behind the camera a lot, helping me with projects. When I have a meeting or I have to go somewhere and I can't keep on projects, Noah is the one that keeps that project on the ball. Michael is a sponsored up-and-coming pilot for Flex Innovations. We get to fly all the time, and I anticipate him definitely kind of doing what Noah's helping. Flite is not the glue of our family. Christ is. But on the flip side, we get to work with aviation, and it's kind of part of it. Jen, I think you'd probably agree, like, this is kind of our tool to connect with people.
Yeah.
So that's our common passion with it.
Yep. Right now we have a puzzle upstairs on the table we're working on.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're all stuck inside.
So, yeah, we're trying to get creative with that. So if you guys ever wonder, I call this the poor man's wheel collar here. It's just a glob of glue, and it works really, really well. If you guys choose, you guys can cut the...
They want to know what's for dinner.
What are you cooking for dinner?
What am I cooking for dinner?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
We
I
had
gotta
baked
wait
potato
until.
bar last night. It was really good.
Yeah, I think we're having pasta and meatballs.
Pasta and meatballs. That sounds
Pasta and
really good.
meatballs.
So the Overstreet family came and visited us, and they introduced us to something really cool. I call them, they call them haystacks. We call them walking tacos.
Or taco salad, yeah.
But you take Doritos or different types of tortilla chips. Fritos, things like that. And then you take taco or ground meat and taco seasoning, lettuce, sour cream.
Really any
beans,
fixins you want.
any
I like
fixin'
chicken.
you want.
Yeah.
And you basically put like a bed of chips down, and then you dump your meat, and then you beans and cheese and sour cream, and you just make your own. It's incredible. And ever since then, we have it almost every week, and we love it. So if you guys are shut in and you're looking for a really simple meal,
We have it once a week because leftovers are good for lunch.
they are.
Yep.
And we went from that to a potato bar, and we used the fixing from the taco bar to that, so we wouldn't go wasteful. We're trying to be a little bit careful, so we don't have to go to the store as much.
Are there any tips on how to make your plane lighter?
You can peel the foam. So if you need to make it lighter, specifically like with like micros, you can peel the foam on that, and it'll work really
Paper.
well. Yeah, the paper.
Let's see.
There's that, and I have one little piece I still gotta put on.
A lot of people want to come over to dinner. I don't think I have enough pasta for 1,000 people, but
that
you know.
that would violate the whole social distancing thing too. So
True that.
we can't do that.
Yeah.
But we love the spirit of that.
How did you meet John Overstreet?
How did I meet? John Overstreet met me. We met at Flight Fest. Backstory is they actually came to originally fly quadcopters, and the FPV channels were taken, and they're like, well, let's see what this airplane thing's all about. Big shout out to his younger son, Jesse. Jesse's actually who is responsible for getting John. They did a father-son trip. That's where Jesse wanted to go, and that's where the friendship was kindled. And it's crazy. God puts the right people at the right time for the right reason, and that's from people from our community coming out to help. That's from employees. That's from team members we have. It's just really a powerful thing to see how people come into our lives. But I sit back and I look at what everybody has done and how they've given back to Flight Test in powerful ways, and we don't deserve it, but we're so happy to be part of it. So yeah, it's kind of a thrill. I can't wait to see how many more new people we meet in the future as well.
Have you heard of JARS?
Yeah, that's a missionary flying pilot association. I forget the acronym though, unfortunately.
You're fine. They asked, so I'm asking.
Yep.
We want to see a B-25 Mitchell.
John's already designed a B-25 Mitchell, so I think he'll be really happy. I think he has one in APAC size and also in the big one. All right, so I just put a little tiny skid down just to keep my rudder off. I think I had actually that included in the kit, and I don't know where it is, so I just shoved a little guy in there. Let's put the prop on. Where's my prop? I want to see a show of hands or just a response. How many people, when they start a project, start with a completely empty desk, and by the time they're done, they're working on the floor? There it is. I didn't check the rotation of the prop, so we need to see if that's okay.
Does the foam board from the dollar store still work?
Oh yeah, absolutely. One thing that we're committed to is anything we design, we're not going to make it have to work off of a specialty foam. When we design our maker foam or our previous waterproof foam, our Flite test foam, that was to give features that the current Adams foam board wouldn't work. The only thing that it won't work, our designs won't work that well with, is Elmer's and Ross. Ross is light enough, but it's a little brittle, and Elmer's is too heavy. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for stuff. You definitely want to use Adams Ready board or our Flite test foam or maker foam.
Lots of people agree with you. They end up on the floor.
That's it. That's it. And then I got really bad knees, so it's kind of crazy how that works out all the time. Let's see. I got some Velcro around here. Where's my battery?
A lot of thank yous again for going live.
Oh my gosh.
Keeping people busy.
Thank you, guys. Oh, there it is. Now, this has been a thrill. The biggest thing that I'm concerned about, I've never done anything like this, and I want to make sure that it's a rewarding experience for you. So when this is all done, let us know what we can do better. And then also we'll see if you guys want to see it again. Maybe we can do it, especially during this time. Frankly, I'm loving it. It's really
best place
awesome
to buy
experience.
parts. I would suggest Flite Test.
I'm going to be selfish. Yeah, FliteTest.com. If you're going online to buy parts somewhere, not only do we have 25,000 plus parts, but also you're supporting us too. So I'd be a bad person not to say that.
Oh, I know we answered this, but a lot of people are asking, any chance of an airliner in the future?
Yes. Look for an Airbus A320. Thank you, John. All right, I'm just gonna plug this in one last time here. I want to make sure that everything goes good, and then I gotta find some rubber bands, and we're gonna go fly this.
Wow, Scarlett made homemade bread. I am super jealous
Scarlett
of that.
made homemade bread?
Yeah.
I love Scarlett. She's such a sweetheart.
Too bad we can't fly that to each other. I'd be like,
I hear ya. That's a good little clear off the table.
I'll do this. Selfishly, I'm going to throw some in there. So if anyone has any gluten-free homemade bread recipes, send them to us.
Yeah, you have what? You have Sjogren, celiac, and lupus.
I have a lot of stuff. Let's not go there.
I got a warrior wife. She puts up and powers through so much stuff, but
I miss bread.
she misses bread. And the worst thing is I'll take something that has wheat in it. And
Sounds
I'm
like you
oh,
said
this
weed.
is wheat. There's tea. And I'm like, sweetheart, this is so good. You got to try some. And it just tortures the poor girl. So
It's all good.
yeah. All right. I gotta find some rubber bands. Noah, do you know what rubber bands are?
Yeah. Here,
You do?
hold this.
Do we have a
Okay.
power pack?
Just here.
All right.
Here, I'm gonna flip it around.
Okay.
Okay, here.
There we are, guys. All right. So Noah's getting me rubber bands because that's one thing I forgot to get. Our plane's ready to fly. The only thing we have to do is center of gravity. And I don't know how windy it is out there, but if it's calm enough, maybe we can do some cool demonstrations with the Easy Gliders too, and let you guys see that. I don't know. The Easy Gliders really don't fly very well under or over 5 mile an hour winds, but we'll see what it looks like. And Noah's looking for some rubber bands. I thought I had everything prepped enough.
Right here.
Oh, do you have rubber bands? Yay! Awesome.
Reading
All right.
comments. I wasn't even listening.
Well, I'm a terrible camera person. I'll give it back to
I
you.
can't see though.
Oh, here. You gotta turn it around like this.
But then it's on me. I don't want it on me.
Oh, I don't want it on me either.
All right. You guys ready to fly this? I'm kind of curious. How many people were able to build along all the way to completion, and how many people dropped out?
Do we have a power pack, M?
Well, he's probably talking about our monster pack.
Oh, okay. Do you have an estimated price for that?
The monster pack is right now like a virtual bundle, and actually, I did this wrong. I didn't think that many people were going to want to have like so many servos and stuff. I figured by the time we got to that size, you had a very specific application, so we didn't do an official, plastic hard pack. But we have the motors, servos, speed control, and then the BECs. I don't remember the prices on all of those things, but if you go to Aiming and just type in the word monster, you'll see all of our line.
Thanks, Dustin, for the bread tips.
Oh, did he give you some bread tips?
Uh-huh.
Dude, look at that. We're solving so many problems today. This is cool. I didn't do any.
One gentleman had to drop out. You're too quick.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. We'll if we do this again, I think one thing that'd be really cool, especially with the amount of kids at home, and also with our FT STEM program, we should really maybe do like a chuck ladder next time. That you know, we can not just build one, but we can get a bunch of kids involved, and then. You know,
What
have a
kind of
project.
wire do you use for landing gear?
It's a great question. This is 0.1 inch diameter wire, spring wire. So you can probably get that on Amazon. We also sell it on our store, like 5 sticks at a time, and then we also sell different thicknesses. This is what we call our, I believe, our medium, our thicker or medium wire. Drop it one more. There we go. Are we there? I think we're there.
Chuck glider would be perfect.
Chuck ladder be perfect? Awesome. Hey, if you guys can do me a favor too, when we're done with this, even if you have to finish your planes up later, I really want to see what you guys did with this live stream and what you guys built together.
Another gentleman had a good idea too. Maybe do one section at each live stream.
Oh, like
To
make
kinda
this
break
like
it
a
up a little
2 or
bit.
3 parter.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of people are sick of my voice by now too. So.
What's
All right, so for balance, I'm gonna stick my battery right about here, and what I want to do is I want to put my hands on both holes, and that looks just perfect to me. I think that's gonna be great. I can't believe this. We get to let's go out and fly, but typically that's in a build video, so let's go out and
couple
fly.
more donations?
Are you guys kidding? Thank you guys. Honestly, you guys carrying us through this time, it means a lot, but also what you're doing with your families to engage and just to give them an awesome experience means a lot. So thank you for your support. And also thank you for being part of this. I don't know how to thank people over and over again. I just feel I don't ever want it to not be as sincere as it is in our hearts. So,
You guys are gonna go fly?
we're gonna go fly.
Since I can't carry the computer to read comments, I'll read over Noah's shoulder.
Perfect. All right. I don't know if it's sunny or not, but I'm gonna grab my sunglasses. You ready? Here we go.
Whoops.
Oh, gotta get the knees working.
Gotta get the knees working. Hey, ask if there's any good basement waterproofing places.
Hey, Max.
Should we do the side yard?
That's up to you.
Yeah, we could go out here.
Out here?
Is it cold? Should I bring it?
Nah.
No, it's beautiful.
Sunny? We haven't seen the sun in days.
What is this big fireball in the sky?
Alright, no, I'm gonna stand over your
All
shoulder.
right. This is cool. I didn't even think about like flying. There we go.
Alright.
Now I apologize for the flight footage in advance.
Because it's very sunny, it's hard
You
to
need me get
see.
you some sunglasses? I got some shady rays
No,
on
I don't
the
know if I could zoom in or at all.
car. Oh.
And more donations are coming in.
Yep,
Wow, thank you.
Johnny Pace.
Right, left, up, down. Oh, Max. I better not take it off.
Hey!
My dog loves biting our plane.
Oh my gosh, it's so nice out here.
It is beautiful.
It's not raining. It's a little muddy.
Now that quick.
I'm just gonna skip reading for a minute. What kind of wheels do you use for your planes?
2.75 inch wheels.
There's a lot of lag since we're
There's a
outside.
knife edge for you.
There's a lot of lag out here,
Oh,
so
is there?
yeah.
All right, here. Everyone's wondering if it'll hover. I don't know. Can you see that okay?
Oh yeah.
I'd probably end it there. Everyone's saying lag.
Okay, lag. I'll bring. flip on me again. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate being part of the Flite family. And also, thank you for the way that you've been loving on your families, that you've been connecting with each other, and that you've been giving back. From the friends in Italy, what you guys have done, to how people are handling everything in here. We're seeing the best people, and we're seeing the best of our community. So thank you for that. Give us some feedback on what you think with the live streams, what we can do better. We want to do better. And as always, thank you again to our sponsor, War Thunder, for allowing us to do this. All right, we'll
And there
see
should
you
be a
guys.
link in down below,
There
right?
should be a link down below. And again, from the bottom of our heart, we love you guys. Thank you.
Okay.